to join the meeting. Is it okay for us to reschedule the presentation? Bu Siti? I cannot hear you. You can write it on the chat box. Oh, see. Okay. Wait a minute.
Check. Hello.
Okay. Okay, good. Yes, I can hear you now, Bu Siti Aziza. You ready for the presentation? Oh, hilang lagi. Hilang lagi suaranya ya. Or maybe Bu Siti Aziza need sometimes to fix the problem with the connection or with the voice. Yes, still really hard to hear you, Bu Siti.
Hello. Test. Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Let's start now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bu Siti Aziza to present her presentation under the title of Utilizing Edmodo as a Digital Language Learning Platform. Okay, Bu Siti Aziza, floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you for the times. It's an honor for me today to deliver a presentation in this virtual international conference. Okay, my titles, utilizing Edmodo as a digital language learning platform to teach writing for social science education program students. Well, this is the result of our research teams that consists of me, Mr. Gavor, and also Ms. Eva. Okay, let me have our PPT first. Okay, wait. Can you help me? Okay. Well, this is my PPT utilizing Edmodo as a digital language learning platform to teach writing for social science education program students. Okay. Yes. Satunya sebelumnya. Sebelumnya. Nah, ini. Okay. Education in the era of post-pandemic COVID-19 required online learning, and educators should design innovative learning. Innovative learning means here that make the students, our students, easy to learn to reach the goals of learnings, and we as the lecturer should design innovative learnings. It means that the learnings, the creative and interesting learnings to make the student easy. And from the research results from Huria Rahma, most lecturers use WhatsApp, Google Classroom, e-learning of campus, video conference, Zoom, Google Meet, and Edmodo. And the last year, I overview as our research is using Edmodo to teach writing to teach for non-English majorings, and I focus on teaching writings since that students of social science education program get difficulties in learning English, especially in learning writings. It is not only in the subject is English for social science. It's not only for writings but also speaking. But here focuses on writings. They need to be given a digital learning media that can raise their interest as well as their confidence to publish their writing. We need to find yeah the media that is suitable with the students that can have their motivation and also their confidence. So Edmodo, I think, may become one of the solutions. The use of Edmodo in this research is a media for the student to submit and publish their writing assignments. Okay, I would like to, I'm sorry, Edmodo is free application that can be used by teachers and students in which the teacher can monitor the interaction between the members. Is it was that allows the teacher to post messages, discuss classroom topics, assign and grade classwork. And they can share content and materials and network and exchange ideas with their peers. Since that in Edmodo, there are some features to have, it's like notes. We can have notes that consist of some features in notes and also the grade to monitor to give their feedback. Engaging students. Uh, Collaborate, exchange ideas, and share content in a secure, closed environment. Provide a safe environment for differentiating instructions with one or whole group communications. Okay. For the words I give in teaching writings here, I ask them to write a paragraph. It's talking about human relations and also, uh, the human relations. Edmodo, the benefit of Edmodo allows educators to integrate current technology into the classroom that students can navigate through and use to access classroom and school informations, directly from their teacher. Actually, my students always try to write anything, but for I will give you the first step, the stages of writings. The students and here the student receive feedback and can communicate with their teachers using methods that are in line with growth and development of technology, yet still safe and appropriate for students. Research focus, I use qualitative, and the research focus describe about how the implementation of Edmodo done by the lecturer and know the student writing performance after the implementation of Edmodo. Okay, in this descriptive, we use provide descriptive account targeted to understanding of phenomena, a process, or a particular point of view from the perspective of those involved. It means that the process was done through analysis and descriptions without manipulating the teaching learning process. And the subject of the study was third semester students of social science education program of class at EIN Madura, and the total number of students is 35, which consists of 20 female students and 15 male students. Result of teachers' implementations. I conducted the research for submitting with three kinds of activities. That the first activities, I explained the paragraph, since that this is the English majoring. So I give the simple topic, how to write a paragraph with the topic of human relations. And it explains the definitions, the step of writing a paragraph, the paragraph outlines, the topic sentence, the supporting sentences, and the concluding sentence. Then she gave an example of a paragraph outline. And the result of teachers' implementation, the lecturers asked them to prepare their own laptop or their own Android, because the lecturer would continue discussing the topic by using Edmodo platform. The lecturers asked the students to log in their accounts to Edmodo and ask them to read all the learning material of the topic she explained, which had been uploaded to Edmodo. And I motivated the student to get involved in the learning process, followed by giving a writing assignments of paragraph consisting of 10 to 150 words. And then I asked them to write the paragraph outline first. Yeah, this is the step of interpreting stage. I asked them to write the outlines, and of course, I gave enough time to the student in writing their own paragraph before posting it on Edmodo. Result of teachers' implementation. After all students finish their paragraph, the third activity, the lecturers I asked them to give feedback to their friends' writing by giving comment on it, referring to the 5 scoring rubric. The first is the contents, organizations, grammar, vocabulary, and mechanics. And these are of student assignment. The assignment of the student is writing an English paragraph about describing human relation on their own village, while another student gave feedback on their friends' writings. I monitored their writing student progress and gave score and their assignments. So in this process, the students was that build their motivation, build their confidence to also monitor their students, their friends' work. And 5 students got excellence. Yeah, 5 got very good, 21 good, got good level, and 5 students belong to poor level. Okay, and the conclusions, there were 3 kind of activities that the lecturer, the first explained the media which would be used, that is using Edmodo, and the lecturer asked the student to log in their Edmodo accounts and ask them to read all learning material and assignments which had been uploaded in Edmodo class. And the student post their writings assignment in their Edmodo accounts. The students actively participate in writing their assignments to Edmodo. They share their ideas freely, and the lecturer monitors them easily by giving feedback directly to all their writing components using the 5 scoring rubric. Okay, yeah. And the conclusions based on our research, that we conclude that the implementation of Edmodo can improve their writing skills because they can achieve all the scoring writing rubrics. Most of them were categorized into good level. They built their confidence because their writing had been published in Edmodo. So I think it's suitable with our pandemic era now, for this era that the students need a digital language learning platform in which we both the lecturer and the student can share their idea and give feedback each other. Okay, thank you. I give it's the end, yeah, of my presentation today. Thank you for your attention and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ibu Siti Aziza, for the nice presentation. Yeah, during the pandemic era, of course, we are forced, as a teacher, we are forced to utilize the IT. Actually, I'm a bit curious, dealing with a certain platform or many kind of platform we can use in teaching. Do you have any specific reasons why you choose Edmodo for the platform?
Yep, because there are some features, some it is not English majorings, so I find the suitable that make the students build their confidence. So I find Edmodo has some features that yeah, for notes and also their grades, yeah, to monitor and also give feedback to them. Okay.
Okay, really inspiring actually. You are already filled with the activities that we can put in Edmodo. Thank you, Bu Aziza. For all the participants, maybe you have the questions for Bu Siti Aziza, you can write down in a chat box. Maybe later she can answer all your questions. Thank you again for Bu Siti Aziza for the nice presentations.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Now we move to the next presenters is Pak Andi Asrifan. Are you there, Pak Andi Asrifan?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Pak
Okay,
Andi. Your time is yours, Pak Andi.
thank you. I will try to share my screen. So is it visible?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Salatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So today I'm going to share maybe this is the kind of lecturing, and then most of the students really interest in designing instructional methodology in instructional material in education, especially in the classroom. So what I'm going to discuss and share for this session is the first, um, about the definition of model itself and instructional design, and then the second is what is the product of R&D or research and development in education, especially in educational model, and then the third is educational research and development or research based development, and then the last is some of instructional design methodology. Let's come to the first one. This is the basic theoretical term about the model in instructional design. Let's come first in from the theory, comes from Sugiono in methodology penelitian dan pengembangan, 2017. Uh, where we know that the function of there are three functions of research. The first, we research because we need to do, and then we doing the research because we need to know, and then we doing research because we need to choose. So in the scope of we need to do, the research method that can be used here, like research development, action research, uh, research and development, action research, operational research, and mixed method. And then in research now here, there are some kind of research methodology that can be used, like a survey, experiment, qualitative, and then mixed method. And then in need to choose here, we have two: formative evaluation research and summative evaluation research. Uh, okay, the definition of model here, based on Riche Rita et al. The model is a representation of a reality, with a degree of structure and order, and model are a typical idea, lies and simplify a view of reality. And then another definition that model, there are two kind of model. The first is micromorph and paramorph. Micromorph are about the physical and visual, and paramorph is a verbal description. And then paramorph can be categorized as either conceptual model, a procedural model, and the mathematical model. And then the paramorph uh, uh, can be categorized as either that are more abstract than theory, and then the procedure step by step, and then in mathematical have equations. So the definition of design itself, the design comes from Latin designare, to adombrate, and then this one design is distinguished between design as a draft, plan, and blueprint, and design as forming, composing, and modeling of an object of utility. So this is based on the Hale 1960. And then the instructional design here is the common defined as the systematic procedure. Systemic procedure which educational and training program are developed and composed, uh, 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 to do the improvement, and make our student increase their ability, and then their interest, and also we touch their attitude. So this is the general strategy of instructional design from Regut, where the instructional design is the major intention of instructional design is the development of learning environment, and the basis of a suitable theory and learning and teaching, they ensure the quality of teaching and education intervention. So there are three steps here. The first step is organizational strategy, delivery strategy, and then execution strategy. Here, what is the educational research development or research-based development? The third, R&D is a process used to develop a validate educational product. We underline this one, this product. And then the second is to design new product, systematically evaluate it and refine it real, and then test it until they meet specified criteria, effectiveness, quality, or similar standard. And then the third here is R&D is a process of researching consumer need, and then developing the product. And then the last one is R&D is discovering solution to to problem, or creating a new good and knowledge. So this is some kind of a final product of R&D in education. So like a learning model based on blah 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 method, learning model based hybrid learning or blended learning, online based learning, and so on. And then also based on my dissertation, I researched about bilingual based material of English for education technology. So online based learning, online based library management model, integrated base, and there are some there are many more. So this is just a kind of the product of R&D in education. So what is the instructional design methodology? So in Larnaca declaration on learning design, where come from the first here, about the challenges. The challenge where creating learning experience aligned to particular pedagogical approach and learning objective, where we have to combine the educational psychology, theory, and methodology in teaching learning environment, and then we do teaching cycle. Firstly, design and plan, and then digital with student do the reflection and professional development, and then the level granularity here come from program, module, session, and learning program, and then learning design and instruction implementation, and sure after implementing our instructional design, we have to now the learner respond to make our instructional design better than before. The step of flexible planning here in instructional design, based on Norbert here, there are three kind of there are seven, sorry, seven. The first, specification of objective, inventory, talking, analysis of needs, classification of need, development and action, their realization, invention of goal, and then planning. And then the component of instructional planning here, the first, description of future, prospective rethinking of actions, and then elaboration. So the general view of component in instructional design, I think some of the model in instructional design almost the same, where come from the analysis of resource. In this case, we analyze what the learner needs. In this case, we touch the need analysis. The need analysis here, learning needs and target needs. We want to know their why they want to learn, and then the model or the style uh, 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 they learn, and then here's some how often, based on research that I take from the Roswell, where the AD here analyze, design, develop, implementation, evaluation model is still in the higher, and then Bloom's, and then Kirkpark, and then Gagne, HP, and so on. So AD is still in the higher top, but maybe this is also because some of the researchers uh, still uncommon to now. There are more than 20 model of instructional design that can help us to design our instructional design. So here the first model, we have a Do-I-ID model for the design of multimedia environment. Well, in the first step, we design the objective, and then we analyze, in this case, what is the context, what is the problem, and then what is the learner characteristic, knowledge, task, and goal. And then after that, we make a decision format, interaction design, structuring of the content, multimedia design, graphic, usability testing, and then the last page here, the evaluation. And then this is the Dick Carey model of instructional design, where in the first step we assess need to identify the goal, and then conduct instructional design and analyze learner of the content. After that, we combine these data, instructional analysis, and then analysis of the learner to write the performance objective, and then develop the assessment instrument, and then develop instructional strategy, develop the instructional material, and then we design the formative evaluation of instruction, and then after that we do the small test, and then we revise the instruction, and then back again to develop assessment instruction, and then in the last after that we have a summative evaluation. So this is the three phase of Gani on Gani ninth event of instruction, where we have three here, but the three phase come first, preparation of learning, gaining attention, information learner, then stimulation, the goal of prior learning. And then acquisition of performance. We have presenting stimulus, providing learning guidance, and then eliciting performance. And then the last phase here is transfer of learning. We have providing feedback, assessing performance, and assessing retention and transfer. And then the next model here is Rothwell, Kazana's ID model. We're starting still almost the same with all the model of instructional design. Where come from conduct a need assessment, and then assess relevant characteristic, analyze characteristic, perform job, and then write a statement of a performance objective, develop performance measurement, a sequence performance measurement, specify instructional design, design instructional material, and we in the last phase we have evaluate instruction. And then the next model is the CAM design model, where first here we have planning, and then revision, and then we do the promotive evaluation, and then also the summative evaluation, where we cover the instructional problem, the learner characteristic, task analysis, instructional objective, content sequencing, instructional strategy, designing the message, instructional delivery, and evaluation the instrument. So the next model here, the Gerlach here, starting from the specification of content, and then specification of objective. So we combine this data to assess of entering behavior, and then we design the determination of strategy, organization group, allocation the time, allocation the space, and then selection of resource, and we do the evaluation and analysis of feedback in the last phase of this model. And then the next model is the Niven. The Niven here still the same. We do the small research before come in the main research, in preliminary research, and then after taking the data from the preliminary research, so we design based on the problem we found in the field, and then we do the formative evaluation, and then we analyze it, and then the last year we do the summative evaluation. But in the middle of the space, we design, we analyze it, we do the formative evaluation until four step before we do the summative evaluation. The next model here, the seal glass glow. Surely we start from the problem analysis, and then we do the feedback and interaction among the task analysis, instructional analysis, object and test, instructional strategy, material development, and formative evaluation. And the last year we have the summative evaluation and implementation surely. And then the next, based on Smith-Ragan model of instructional design, we have three also phase. We do the analysis. The analysis here cover learning environment, learner, and then learning tasks, and then strategy, and then the last phase here evaluation, where we conduct formative evaluation and we revise the instruction. This is the Diamond's model of instructional design. But this is we underline this very suitable for the higher education. We have two phases. The first phase, name project selection and design, and then the next phase, production, implementation, and evaluation for each unit of instructional design. And our we have ARCS model. What is the ARCS model? This is the A stand for attention, R stand for relevance, and C stands for confidence, and then S stand for satisfaction. This is the four main data that can help us to design instructional design. In intention, we arouse the system learner curious and interest why they want to learn the subject that we are going to research. And then relevance here, link on the learner needs, interest, and motivate. And then confidence here to develop the positive expectation for achieving success. And then satisfaction here provide arrangement and reward for learner. This is AD, the very common and then famous instructional design, AD framework. AD stand for analyze, design, develop, implement. Where the based on AD, we have a key question here. The first, who, target group of learner, and what content to be taught and learned. What for? Instructional goal and objective, learning objective, and why. This is the need analysis, and then how. This is the instructional strategy and method, and the when timeless of timeline of instruction, and the where here the venue of the learning environment. The common instruction of design procedure organized by AD here, concept and common procedure. And then the AD framework here, uh, uh, we this is quite different with AD and diamond model. In the first slide, where in AD, diamond, just two phase, but in the two phase cover analyze and design, and then in the phase two cover three component: development, implementation, and evaluation. The next model is the 4C or ID model. The 4C here, starting from the the learning tasks, part tasks practice, supportive information, and GIT information. The strategy to reduce cognitive load, where sequencing from simple to complex, and then learning tasks, and then just in time information. I just skip some the model because I think we have a limitation time. So the technology based approaches of instructional design, here we now I the expert base architecture and the transactional shell, where this is think suggest to who want to design based the ICT. And then we now pianet process entity activity network. And then we now also IDE, the instructional design environment. And then we now the recursive reflective design and development model, where starting this is the different with the traditional sequence of instructional design, and then rapid prototyping. And then the rapid prototype model of trip and behavior, where firstly we do the assess need and analyze the content, and then set the objective, design in research, and then install and maintain the system. And then the triple P instructional design model of the Center of Faculty Development at Wenzhou Ursuline University of Language in Taiwan, where prototype here we have analyzed, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And then after that we do the we test in the small one of sample. And then after that we have in the small in the big scope of the test for before we implementing or the designing the product. So here the fusion model of instructional design, where the model of component here, the first we identify the problem, and then we select the sequence about the problem, and then we develop the several sample of training material and strategy, and training of early adopter, and then improvement of training material and strategy, and then training the mainstream faculty with improvement of early adopter, and then evaluation, and the last we have discussion or brainstorming. This is the component of SLU function model with corresponding description. And the next conic and radial instructional model, almost the same, where starting from the problem, and then design, and then after that evaluate. This is the Berlin model of didactic, where anthroponic and social culture preconditioned, where here touch about the learner sure, and then how the environment, and then how about the student want to need, and then also what the problem or the instructional leader institution later needs in development our instructional material. Here, the class is consists of a critical constructive deductive, the level here, and then the next model here, this supply and use model of instruction. Here this model is very unique because we also touch not only the teacher and then the situation of the classroom, and then also the learner, but we also touch the family, how family in this case the individual learning potential. So this is very, I think, informative that can be applied in the next, or the researchers who want to research about the research development. And then the next one is the same, the same of electric didactic, come from senior. And then the blackboard design model, where we have a 4 step, starting from identify the learn outcome, and then determine acceptable evidence, and then plan the learning experience, and then create resource to engage the learner, and then revise and refine the learner. And then the synchronous media made to instructional design. We classify first the kind of instructional here, where some of the instructional come from the TV or satellite e-learning, video conferencing, audiograph, web conferencing, and audio conferencing. And then the last one is a sure model. A sure model come from the Hinz, Molinda, and Rusul and Smaldino, where assure stand for analyze learner, state objective, select method media material, utilize media material, required learner participant, and then evaluate and revise. And the last one, based on the book, step of a system approach model of educational research development, where based on uh, uh, bulk here, there are there are 10 steps in in the model of designing instructional design in a research in development model, starting from identify the instruction goal, and then the second step is conducting instructional analysis, and then the next step is analyze learner and context. The fourth step here, we write performance objective, and then the fifth, develop assessment instrument, and then the sixth here, develop instructional strategy and develop and select instructional material, and then design and conduct formative evaluation of instruction, and then we analyze here, and then we revise the instruction by taking the data from the test in formative evaluation, and then we revise about our luck maybe, and then we again move to the next step, the fourth step, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then the last step here, we designing and conduct the summative evaluation. I think thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Andi. It's really complete. We really happy to have you to join this session. So everybody, Pak Andi Asrifan is the Director of Share to Care Volunteers and Head of Students and Alumni Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidenreng Rapang, Indonesia. I just really curious, I think, Andy.
Yes.
So you really have a complete design of research and development actually, and it is based on the teaching philosophy. Um, so I think how to deal with the teaching philosophy, it is based on the teacher's belief on how to deal with that. Okay, what do you think about it?
I think that is the foundation of designing of designing the instructional material, because firstly we have to know the first, the need analysis, the foundation of education, the teacher belief and the learner needs. We combine this component, and then we analyze the objective, and then
Hmm. It seems that Pak Andi has problem with the connection, everybody. Hello, Pak Andi?
that we design the material. I think this is the foundation in designing of
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It really gives me new insights, and everybody
unstable
should
connection.
really agree with that.
Ada
Yes.
pemadaman lampu di.
Oh, I'm so sorry we heard that. I hope
Hello.
you. Hello, Pak Andi. We still have you here, Pak Andi.
Hello.
Hello, Pak Andi. Still have problem with the connection, I think. Okay, so everybody, if you have any questions, you can share your questions or comment on the chat box. It seems that Pak Andi still have problem with the connection, so later maybe he can answer your question. Thank you again, Pak Andi Asrifan, for the nice presentation today. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next presenter. Okay, and the next is Pak Dalilan. We call Pak Dalilan here for the next presentation. Pak Dalilan already joined the session. Pak Dalilan, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Dalilan from UIN
Me?
Raden Patah Palembang.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I think it is time for you to share your presentation, Pak Dalilan. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Can I show my slide now?
Okay, while Pak Dalilan preparing the presentation. Pak
It is
Dalilan
the
is
slide.
from,
Can you see it?
not yet, maybe still,
Not yet.
yeah, okay. So everybody, Pak
Can you
Dalilan
see?
is from UIN Raden Fatah Palembang, Indonesia. He's going to present the topic Library Science Students' Perceptions on English Language Learning. Please, Pak Dalilan,
Okay,
the floor is yours.
Well, this cannot be displayed full slide. Hello? Hello, everybody.
Yes, Pak Dalilan, we can hear you well then.
Okay, but my slides cannot be displayed. My slide cannot be displayed. Who? Hello?
Yeah, Bapak, I already make you as a co-host, then I think
Yes,
you
I know.
can
I know.
share. Okay.
Can you see my slide?
Not yet.
That's your problem. Oh, what's wrong? Sorry. Okay. Maybe it takes some time, but hello, can you? Sorry.
You can click
Share
the
screen,
share
okay?
screen. Okay.
Okay. Share screen, yeah.
Yeah. Then you have to open your presentation. Your
All
PowerPoint.
participant.
No, PowerPoint. Yes, below you.
All participant.
Yeah, next the participants, and then you have the green box there, share screen. Can you find it?
Yeah. Yes, share screen I have. Okay. Fine. Okay, Bu ya. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes. Okay.
Entar Pak lagi ini Pak lagi presentasi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sending this. It is my turn now to present my slide, my paper. It is actually in order to make the time shorter. I would like to display my slides in brief slides, consists of 5 or 6 slides. It's entitled Library Science Students' Perceptions on Learning Autonomy in this online learning delivery method. It was a mini research conducted to my own students of Library Science at Faculty of Humanities in Raden Fatah Palembang. I just focus on findings. In students' mind or in students' view, online learning systems shouldn't consider online learning as independent learning. That students thought of self-controlled learning, self-directed learning, self-regulated learning as their hello? Hi. Oh my God, what's wrong? Hello?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah?
Okay. I still can hear you, Pak Dalilan.
Then this is, can I just show the background of the research? Okay, I collected the data. Okay, the learning autonomy. Oh God, how can I see it? Okay.
You can click the slideshow, Pak Dalilan.
Okay, slideshow.
Slideshow, yeah.
Okay, okay, now this background. I would like to really focus on my finding, please. Finding. Okay, method. Data collection questionnaire using of stand statement. The question based on theoretical concept I construct myself using legal skill. Options strongly disagree, strongly disagree, agree. Participant consisting of 30 students of library science, and I used sampling technique. And this is the statement I use. And the finding, almost all students, above 50% of the students agree with or perceive positively concerning to the learning autonomy in online learning delivery method. They consider that they can practice their problem solving skill and critical thinking skill, and also they can practice their self-regulated learning, self-directed learning. They can self-manage learning. But however, many students answer that, most of the students answer that they prefer to offline learning, to they prefer offline learning to online learning in order to create their own learning autonomy. But their perception said that autonomy or independent learning in online learning delivery method is required. I think that is my short. Hello, dear source. I finished my presentation.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
for, yeah, I think
so
it's still a
fine.
useful presentation, Pak Dalilan. Can
Yeah,
you hear
yeah,
Pak Dalilan?
yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, so it is okay for the participants to ask you via email later.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, via
Okay,
email or via chat, WhatsApp. Yeah.
okay. So we still have one questions from Pak Chris for Pak Dalilan actually.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it seems that Pak Chris need you to share the examples of learning autonomy you apply in the class, and then how to measure the critical thinking skills.
No. I did not carry out any practical thing. I just wanted to reveal student perceptions on learning autonomy. No,
Oh, okay.
yeah, just perceptions.
Okay.
Because before pandemic, the students, I just like to know their perceptions compared in before pandemic and after pandemic concerning learning autonomy. No practices.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Pak Kris, so I think Pak Dalilan already answered your questions. Pak Kris? Pak Kris? I hope Pak Dalilan already answered your questions. Is it
I have.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Pak Dalilan, your voice, it's really hard to hear your voice actually. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it seems that Pak Chris respond you, and then how you describe the autonomy to the respondents. Do you think that you explain the meaning of autonomy or learning autonomy to the
I didn't.
respondents?
I didn't
Okay,
explain.
so,
Yes.
okay.
But
So,
I told them that autonomy learning is an independent in learning.
okay,
That's
independent.
a simple definition.
Okay, simple
Yeah,
independence or autonomy
yeah,
means
yeah,
that students have autonomy or independence
yeah.
learning is something like that. Okay, Pak
Yes,
Dalilan.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you anyway, Pak Dalilan.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate you joining this
Thank
conference.
you.
Okay. So I think you can stop your share now, Pak Dalilan. Go
Okay.
to the next presenters. Okay. Ibu Latifah. Are you ready joining this session? No? Okay, belum. Okay, now next we have Ibu Maya Devianti, PhD for the next presenter. Ibu Maya Devianti, PhD, and Pak Didi Nuruddin Hidayat from UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta, Indonesia. Under the title is The Possibilities and Pitfalls of Writing for Publication During Emergency Remote Teaching, Voice from Teachers in Higher Education Context in Indonesia. Ibu Maya, are you ready?
Yes, Ibu.
Okay.
Wait. Wait. Sebentar, Ibu. Sebentar. Can I prepare my PowerPoint first?
Okay, we're waiting for your PowerPoint. It's okay.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Sebentar. Okay. Sebentar. I cannot share this. Okay. Wait. Maaf, Ibu. Okay. And how to share this? Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Maya Devianti and my colleague is Didin Hidayat. We are going to present our study entitled The Possibilities, Pitfalls, and Writing for Publication during ERT in the context of higher education in Indonesia. This presentation will be divided into three parts. First, I'm going to talk about the overview of the research. And then next, we are going to talk about the study that has been carried out. And then the last one, we are going to talk about the implication of the study. Okay, now let's go to the first part. Once upon a time, in 1984, Boyce and Jones, in 1984, they published their seminal publication that focus on reasons why academicians don't write. Now, based on their survey questionnaire to 400 members of faculty in the university which has doctoral granting university, 221 of the faculty members stated their reason for not publish or for not writing for publication. They are as follows. So it's about time. They don't write because of time. And then writing blocks, and then gender. Apparently, at that time in 1984, more males write for publication instead of female at that time. And then exclusionary factors, there are the external factors. And then writing as pathological. So it seems that writing itself is a messy neurotic. This is because Boyce and Jones, their background is in psychology. So they said that writing is pathological. So it's a messy. So to complete an article or a publication is actually quite complex for academician. And then writing is inherently difficult. So the activity of writing itself is complex because because writing is a combination, a duet of an academician expertise, not only in conducting the research itself, I mean their expertise in research methodology, but also in writing, the writing skill itself. So both needs to go hand in hand. That's why writing is inherently difficult. Not to mention that writing is a solid activity, so it excludes them from the outside world. Okay,
Okay,
and
excuse me, Ibu Maya, can you
yeah,
please make your screen wider or something? Maybe you You forgot to click the slideshow. It's really small here.
It's really small.
Yes.
How about now? How about now?
Okay.
Is it
Yes.
bigger?
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
okay. So I just review what I said. I just said. Okay. So in 1984, Boyce published their seminal article that focused on why academicians don't write. And here are their reasons of why they do not write. Okay, they do not write for publication. That's what I mean. And then deficiencies in instruction. So at that time, writing for publication is actually uh, not really imposed by universities. Now, this article is actually why it is called as a seminal article. This is an awakening alarm for academicians of why they do not write. And then this is also an alarming that writing for publication is a pivotal for researchers. Anyway, so 4 decades later after their publication, uh, the world of writing or publication has grown rapidly. And in fact, it has become a big industry that most of us or most academicians are very familiar with this item. So we are now familiar with schema go ranking journals, EBSCO journals that is, sorry, article that is indexed by Scopus, and so on and so forth. And writing for publication in the reputable journals has become every academician purpose 4 decades later. Now, and then we also at currently, we are all familiar on the benefits of writing for publication, namely prestige, promotion. In fact, the university ranking is also determined by how many publications written by their staff members. Okay, so let's see how about in Indonesia. Now, as in many countries, Indonesia also had made effort on how to boost teachers or lecturers to write for publication. Uh, the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education has imposed academicians to write for publication as stipulated in the Ministry Decree number 92 year 2014. In addition, they also established SINTA. I think we are all familiar that there are 4,984 journals altogether in Indonesia. So seemingly that most academicians in Indonesia also realize the central role of a publication. We are now become familiar with this. But then, if we see based on schema ranking journals, so schema ranking journals, they rank publication. In terms of country, Indonesia is actually ranked in number 44. So this indicates that most of us, most of academicians in Indonesia are still having difficulties or barriers in writing for publication in a reputable journal. Okay, and then this also implies that we are struggling. And then this also implies that most journals in Indonesia are not yet in the Q1 or the highest rank in the world, most of them. Okay, so now the question is, it is no longer relevant for us to, the discourse is changed now. It is not why academicians don't write, academician in Indonesia is not why academicians don't write, but why don't they write in a reputable journal or in journal with high impact? So for these reasons, we conducted a study. We would like to find out, so what are the possibilities and pitfalls of writing for publication, specifically during the emergency remote teaching or this current situation when we are dealing with pandemic. Okay, for the next presentation, my colleague will continue the presentation. Pak Didin Hidayat, please. Pak Didin. I think you need to unmute Pak Didin, Ibu Lulu.
Oh, Pak Didin, let me find it. Okay.
Jadi iya ada.
Pak ini, Pak, please allow Pak Didin. Still there, Pak Didin.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the admin who unmute myself. I couldn't do
Okay.
it myself. Okay. Can I? Is the screen is still shareable or?
No, I stopped sharing, Pak.
Okay. So I'll stop. I'll do the screen share
Oh, you
then.
want me to?
No, it's okay. I can do that.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah, this one. Okay. Thank you. Can I confirm that everyone can see the screen? Bu Maya, would you mind?
Yes, I can. I can see
Okay.
your screen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bu Maya, for presenting the first half of our presentation regarding the writing for publication. And then also thank you, the committee, for allowing us share our research results, and then also the audience who have been patiently joining and then uh, involving themselves, yeah, into this conference. And basically, we're looking at the fundamental barriers in writing for publication, specifically for teachers in higher education context in the Indonesian setting. So what we did was a mixed methods, sequential mixed method explanatory design, which means that, exploratory design, which means that we did the interview first, and then we continue with the statistical analysis. So altogether, 108 teachers from various higher education institutions in Indonesia involved in our research. So the findings basically show that there are a lot of various, yeah, external challenge in writing for publication that the teachers face. Yeah. One of the most significant hindrances, yeah, in which that it is also the obligation for the teachers, is the Tridharma perguruan tinggi itself. Yeah, because teachers, that includes, if I talk teachers, means that I talk about myself as well, and then Bumaya, and maybe some of you, that we are dealing with the quite high pressure, especially dealing with the Tridharma obligation, meaning that we have to juggle, yeah, ourselves between doing teaching and researching, and then also doing the community service. Yeah, and this to some extent has hindered the teachers to be productive in doing their research, because they have to juggle their time with some other things that they have to do. And further, even some of the things that they said that it deals with a lot of administrative things to do, activities. Yeah, for example, at the end of the semester, they have to make a report. Yeah, well, sometimes the report itself is doubled with the other things to do. Yeah, for example, there is no synergy between the system within that institution. Yeah, for example, the teachers still have to report, yeah, still have to report their teaching activity, while actually, to some extent, that teaching activity has been recorded in the learning system of the university. So it took a lot of time for teachers to do that. Yeah, and then also another challenge that they has is the low support, yeah, from the institutions. This includes the funding. Yeah, they would like to undertake some research, and of course, when someone would like to do research, of course, that they need to be supported with the funding. Now, sometimes this is which is lacking support from the institutions. And then the next one is also with the resources. Yeah, the resources itself. Yeah, for example, how teachers can find the suitable or appropriate or abandon uh, materials that they need to write the article. Yeah, for example, access to the free international journals are still limited. Yeah, and this happens to some of the institutions that they are working on. And then the next one is about the recognition itself. Yeah, usually when the teachers, for example, have published their article, and sometimes there is little recognition of what they have done, yeah, given by the institution. But anyway, nevertheless, regardless of the challenges that they face, they still strive, yeah, to overcome the external challenges, yeah, because they still believe that the writing for publication, yeah, has been one of their obligations that they need to undertake. Yeah, especially teachers cannot do, let's say, a promotion to a higher rank if they don't do publication. Yeah, so there is pressure as well from the government that requires teachers to always combine the three dharma higher education. Yeah, and sometimes this is a little bit what is it, put a pressure on the teachers. Yeah, so basically, so what we are proposing based on these implications is that there should be some kind of like concerted efforts. Yeah, concerted efforts. First is the exposure or the willingness from the teachers themselves, and then also the support from the institutions, and then the third one is the support from the government. Well, at least we argue that there should be a concerted effort to at least three parties, yeah, the teachers themselves, and then also the institution, and then also the third is the government. Yeah, for the internal support, what teachers can do, yeah, is to adopt or adapt writing for publication technique. Yeah, there are a lot of things that we can teachers can do. For example, they can always have a look at their previous research or even their master degree thesis, yeah, to have a look to adopt and then adapt that one, yeah, and then to publish a new one with the new additional content on the research. And then the second one is utilize research support from the institution. And then one thing which is quite important within the internal support is the have positive perceptions toward writing, because sometimes what we found is that writing seems to lead to anxiety and fear to some of teachers. So teachers need to have some kind of like positive attitude towards writing. Sometimes the negative perceptions toward writing have been documented, yeah, in the literature. For example, that writing is seen to be things that are very time consuming. Yeah, and thus teachers do not have time to write, to prepare sometimes to do the writing. Yeah, and then also it was reported that it is difficult to prioritize writing, as we have argued before, that they still have to juggle with the other two obligations of three dharma. Yeah, so having a positive perceptions is very crucial for the teachers to be able to write for publication. And then within the external support, that there should be a writing community. Yeah, of course, that these should be promoted by the teachers themselves. Yeah, they can start by maximizing the use of their inner circle, for example, within their department, to establish this writing community. And this is what we are doing at the moment at our department. Yeah, we're trying to build this writing community, so hopefully it can shed lights to further or larger community. And then one thing which is very important is but this one should come from the domain of the institution, yeah, to provide sometimes consultation service for language, yeah, and then also statistics. Yeah, for example, even though that we are English teachers, sometimes we still have trouble, yeah, dealing with the language, yeah, especially dealing with the writing for publication. Yeah, and not to mention with the other teachers coming from different backgrounds. Yeah, and then the next one should be to create a conducive environment. Yeah, and then also the last one is to format writing for publication programs. I think Ibu Maya can add about the writing process as our final argument about the collaboration strategies to improve the publication rates, and then also to do the closing to our presentation. Thank you, Bu Maya, and then also Bapak Ibu semua, everyone.
Okay, sedikit saja, one final note for me. We need to realize that writing for publication is complicated because if as we are already know that most journal only publish twice a year uh, on the average, and each publication is about 8 to 10 public articles in each publication. That means like 20 articles in a year, and we need to compete with like people literally from around the world within the same uh, subject in order to be able to publish. And each article may last for like even 2 years. A year is the minimum, I think. And then 2 years to actually publish on a paper. So the whole writing process, it's like this, masih dilihat sama Pak Didin. It starts with idea and then the first manuscript, and then it is ready to submit. And then from submission to revision, there's a lots of things. And we too, with the Tridharma Pendidikan, Tridharma Pendidikan, we need to juggle with that. We need to be superhuman, that we can do research. We need to conduct teaching, and also we need to melakukan service to community. We are overwhelmed in between, and with BKD and with BKD, which is in our institution, is each semester we need to write a BKD. And then there are some limits that something point for penelitian, something point for pengabdian pada masyarakat. Finally, we end up with a publication that is not actually quality publication because we are required to publish. So we ended up published in non-reputable journal. Even though that is non-reputable journal, it needs time to actually write the article. Okay, so that is the writing process. And having feedback from the editor, some of us may not able to handle the feedback from the editor. So we cannot postpone or procrastinate in finishing the article itself. Now, regarding the external support, yes, we have tried to create a writing community. So I've been in writing community like for years with my friends, and it does actually provide a good impact to boost our productivity in writing. And then I think we can also collaborate to have this session like once in a week, and so on and so forth, to support each other. And then the university also needs to create a conducive environment. If, for example, like conducting research and teaching, that is our obligation. We have the same obligation to conduct research and teaching. With teaching, we are provided with facilities such as classroom or projector or anything. It means that the university should also provide us with the same facility that can improve or that can boost our productivity in conducting research. Let's say, for example, the university provide us with administration staff that will deal with our respondent and so on. Or for example, statistician that can help us, or language center that can polish our language. Pak
Okay.
Didin, tolong diklik satu kali lagi. Tolong diklik satu kali lagi. You still sharing?
Oh, okay.
Satu kali
You
lagi.
mean okay, the slide. Yeah, hang on.
Ya,
Is it
bisa?
right?
Karena ini belum final kalau belum diklik satu kali lagi.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes.
Satu kali lagi, klik.
Hang on.
Hang on. Tidak mau dia. One more click. Just to wrap this thing up.
Okay.
Doesn't work?
No, not yet.
For first. Okay, I'll do it manually then. Okay.
Oh, Bapak belum share. Nah, share lagi, oke. The very slide ya, yang tadi kita collaborative strategy, the strategy
one,
and how to.
This one?
Yes. Okay. So if we can collaborate this, if we provide ourselves with internal support, if the university provide us with external support, if we can deal with the complex activities in publishing, then we can actually publish. Satu slide lagi, Bapak, slide terakhir.
Okay, the thank you one.
Yes. And that is thank you from us.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to us. And
Okay, thank you, Ibu
Thank you for
Maya.
your attention.
Thank you, Bu Maya and Pak Didin. I think, yes, writing for publication is somehow stressful and somehow it is motivated. We really know the term publish or perish, okay? It's quite well known, okay? But I think publication is somehow to develop our teacher's identity as an academician or as a researcher. Okay, there is one question. I think you can answer one question. Pak Didin, it is for Pak Didin. Make it simple what university should do to increase its publication and quality in terms of activity. And then also, what happened with this? Okay, how to describe, yes, I think it's about their policy because dealing with the fund actually. What do you think about this? Okay, during the pandemic, okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Chris. I think one of the chief editors from one of the journals in Indonesia.
Yes.
Recently, I think, published in his journal. So thank you so much, Pak Chris, for the opportunity and then also the question. Now I work at the university and then also at the Ministry of Religious Affairs. A lot of funding should be diverted to the government, to the central government, to to focus more on the pandemic. For example, to support for other things that the government do, for example, in terms of health and some others. So there are a lot of changing in the funding system, in terms of the budget. Some budgets that includes the research have been diverted to focus more on the solving the problems of the pandemic, more specifically within the health. So that really impacts the university and then also the ministry this year. So we are really looking forward to having a better condition, reducing the pandemic situation, so that within the near future we can have some kind of like better funding, and then focus more on that one. Even though that recently the ministry, especially the Ministry of Religious Affairs, has just launched the information on the recipient of various of various funding related to the short course, and then also with the research as well. And then also support for the journals. So that's a good sign. Yeah, hopefully in the near future we can have even a lot better problems with that one. Yeah, in terms of the institutional support, there are a lot of things that the institution can support. Yeah, as I and Bu Maya have mentioned to some extent, that the support from the institutions are very crucial. Yeah, the first one is, of course, in terms of the funding, and then also in terms of the access to the internal journals are very, very highly demanded. Yeah, and then also support in terms of the writing consultation is also very important. And then also a lot the institution should also develop not only the community but also the platform for their lecturers to publish. Yeah, so for example, there should be some kind of like big conference, just like what is being done at the moment by the Win Wali Songo. So this is a very good platform for the teachers to publish their research. So this cannot be done by the teachers themselves. But anyway, regardless of how big or how small the institution support, the teachers themselves should change. Yeah, we can always think about the positive side of this pandemic, meaning that we have very lack of activities, yeah, during this pandemic. Now this can be diverted into our focus on writing. I don't want to be I don't want to brag, but this year during pandemic, I have published 26 articles.
Wow.
Yeah, that's because I have
Amazing.
very less things to do
Oh,
during the pandemic, and I
okay.
use it maximizing the potential
Mm,
of the collaboration.
okay.
Perhaps next time, yeah, I can
Okay.
share the way I collaborate with a
Okay.
lot of parties so that it can improve. Thank you
Oh,
so much, Patris,
yes.
and looking forward to meeting you someday.
Okay,
And
thank
Bapak Ibu,
you.
thank you so much. Bu
Thank you,
Maya.
Pak Didin and Bu Maya. Okay, I hope you enjoy this session. Keep
Yes, of
healthy,
course, we do.
Pak Didin. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Bu.
having. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now we move to next presenters. We have Pak Ramadan Razali. Are you here, Pak Ramadan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you, Pak Ramadan. Is it time for you to present?
Okay.
It's about the Islamic economies, education, and the fourth industrial revolution: challenge, opportunity, and improvement. Improvement. Okay, sorry. Pak Ramadan MA is from IAIN Lok Sumawe, Indonesia. Time is yours, Pak Ramadan.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to moderator. First, I would like to thank you to Rector UIN Moli Songo, Vice Rector LPM and LPPM, and all institutions. Especially, thank you so much to the committee. Bapak dan Ibu, today I will discuss about the Islamic economies, education, and the fourth industrial revolution, and what challenge, opportunity will face the Islamic economies, and what the improvement Islamic economies must do. So the purpose of this research is to analyze the disruptive of the industrial revolution 4.0 in order to prepare Islamic economic education, hopefully construct of an Islamic economies can adapt to technological development. Before we discuss about the education for Islamic economies during the fourth industrial revolution, let's refresh our memory. What the industrial revolution step. The first industrial revolution took place at the end of the 18th century. This revolution began in 1776 with the invention of the steam engine by James Watt. The steam engine, in fact, by James Watt has much cheaper efficiency than the steam engine before 1776. As proof of its efficiency, the steam engine is able to move ship for 24 hours straight. The second of the industrial revolution occurred in the early 20th century. At that time, there was an introduction to mass production based on the division of labor. This revolution took place in the early 20th century. This industry revolution was marked by the invention of electricity by Thomas Alva Edison. So the industrial revolution, second point zero, human are still given a very vital role in the production process of various types of goods. However, in the third point zero industrial revolution, human no longer played an important role because the role of human had been replaced by moving machine capable of thinking automatically, namely computer and robot. Today, we face the fourth industrial revolution. Although it is still in the process of reforming, we can already feel the impact. Like we know, Industrial 4.0 is the main trend in the industrial world that combine automation technology with cyber technology. And as we know, that Germany is the country that start the existence of Industry 4.0, which is marked by the government advanced technology strategy that prioritize factory computerization. Uh, so what is the fourth industrial revolution exactly? According Angel Michaela, the fourth industrial revolution is a comprehensive transformation of all aspects of production in the industry through the merger of digital technology and the internet with conventional industry. And the other definition said that the industrial revolution emphasized the definition of the speed element of information availability, namely an industrial environment where all entities are always connected and able to share information with one another. So, what the technology that in the industry 4.0? The first is Internet of Things or IoT. Like we know, that IoT is an emerging industrial ecosystem. It facilitates the combination of intelligent machine, advanced predictive analytic, and machine-human collaboration, aiming at promoting productivity, efficiency, and reliability. So in the industry 4.0, IoT can support the smart factory. It can lead to the creation of virtual network to support the smart factory. The second is big data. So that manufacturing have realized that the data analytic capability are imperative for their competitive advantage in the era of digitization. Therefore, they devote themselves to improving skill for algorithm development and data interpretation. So big data analytic and technology can promote data collection from multiple sources and ability of comprehensive data analytic and real-time decision making based on the data analytic research. The third is cloud. What is cloud? Cloud computing is computing technology. So cloud computing center can store and compute a huge amount of data, therefore promoting the manufacturing and production and further bring organization higher performance and lower cost. The fourth is 3D, and the fifth is AI or artificial intelligence. So the education 4.0 is a general term used by educational theorists to describe various ways to integrate cyber technology, both physically and not interlearning. And interlearning, I mean, it is a leap from education 3.0. Education 3.0 includes meeting neuroscience, cognitive physiology, uh, and educational technology using digital and mobile website, web-based, including application, hardware, and software. So education 4.0 is a phenomenon that arises as a response to the need of the industrial revolution 4.0, where human and machine are harmonized to obtain solution, solve various problems faced, and find various possibilities for innovation that can be utilized to improve the life of modern humans. This is the distinction between globalization education and education 4.0. That a globalization education, first is learning content expected to be able to reach 21 century skill. I mean, learning and innovation skill include mastering the first knowledge and skill, learning and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, and creativity and innovation. Second is skill digital literacy, includes information literacy, media literacy, and ICT literacy. Third, career and life skill include flexibility, adaptability, initiative, social and culture interaction, productivity and accountability, and leadership and responsibility. A few years ago, Mendikbud Muhajir Effendi at the National Education Day at University of Yogyakarta said that the presence of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 made the world undergoing change that were increasingly fast and competitive. So he assessed that was necessary to revise the curriculum by adding 5 competency. First, student can think critically. Second, students are expected to have creativity and have innovative abilities. The third, communication skill and competence. The fourth, the skill to cooperate and collaborate. And finally, students have the confidence. So, how about Islamic education? So, this is the challenge and the challenge that face Islamic economies. First, technology. Like we know, in Islamic economic education, there is lack subject that discuss about technology. Today we know that the fintech or another platform for economy is increased. So in Islamic economies, I think that we need more subject that talk about the technology. The second is the challenge in Islamic economic education is digital economy. So this is a subject like to in Islamic economic education. The third challenge is understanding artificial intelligence. Fourth is managing big data. Fifth, cheating digital marketing, fintech and cloud expertise. Six is understanding of various science, especially economy and technology. So, Islamic economy during the fourth industrial revolution, they must understand various science. They must understand the various science, not just the Islamic Islamic economic science, but they must understand the other science. So if they success to face this challenge, the opportunity for the Islamic economists is they can controlling digital market and business. So what the improvement they must do? First, I think the declination of the main foundation in Islamic economics, because like we know, there is a difference between Islamic economics and the conventional economics. The main foundation between Islamic economy and conventional economy. So if they understand and they master the main foundation, the impact of their mentality. So their mentality, I mean, as well as the infiltration of Islamic economic paradigm as a universal economy complexity. The third is multi-skill in the development of an Islamic economy based on smart technology and the Industrial Revolution 4.0. The fourth is the important thing, Islamic economists, they must improve innovative and they can and or they master and a cracking entrepreneur. So Islamic economic education Industrial Revolution 4.0, that we need the education are integrated technology, economic theory, and skill that can create Islamic economists who are creative, innovative, and able to use smart technology-based economy. So maybe I think the education for Islamic economic that they must the student they must learn not just the subject for economy, but they must learn the IT subject. This is my presentation. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Ramadan Rasali, for the nice, for the excellent topic today. Okay, so this is quite challenging, yeah, during the pandemic, of course, and then changing into the education for the economy. Maybe you can give us some motivation. Do you think that technology is everything? Technology
Uh,
is everything. You know that in Indonesia, there are different condition. Okay, somehow some students know about technology, some teachers, some people know technology, but some others they don't have any digital literacy at all. So how you see this condition actually?
well, this is our problem. Our problem, in fact. So I think uh, the university itself, they can support the student for having for having, for example, handphone or etc. Because there is a province like us in Aceh. Not Most of our students they don't understand about the technology. This is our problem. Our problem.
Yeah.
But I think we have to support them before they study about the subject in the subject of economics. They must learn the computer subject. Uh, in the other. So this is this is the problem, our problem, but the university can support them. Yes.
Okay, so the university should support the
Yeah.
students to
Yeah.
access
Yeah.
technology. Okay,
Yeah.
somehow it is quite
Yeah.
challenging. Thank you again,
Yeah.
Pak Ramadan, for joining
Yes.
us in our
Welcome.
international virtual conference today. Thank you, Pak Ramadan. Okay, so everybody, we are ready for the next presenter. Here we have Mr. Atul Patil, PhD, with the title of Technology, the New Normal Assistant Professor of Communication Skills at Government College of Engineering, Pune. Okay, please, Mr. Atul Patil, you can introduce yourself to our audience today.
So, guten Morgen, ich heiße Dr. Atul Patil. Ich arbeite wie Pune, India. Ich wohne in Pune. Wie geht es Ihnen? Good. Well, I started my presentation in German and I
Oh,
deliberately did
okay.
that.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know German, but I learned these.
Hello?
Kind and cannot take place. Similarly, when we as teachers use technology, if our students do not understand how it is used, then there would be a problem. Like our host, the compeer of the program, Professor Luluth, was just mentioning to the previous speaker that our students do not know much about technology. So how we can overcome this problem? So taking the same, would like my presentation. Before I do that, let me take this opportunity to thank the organizers for your invitation. I'm really honored and privileged to be part of this virtual international conference. I am Dr. Atul Patil. I work as Assistant Professor of Communication Skills at Government College of Engineering, Pune, Maharashtra, India. So the topic of my presentation is Teachnology, which is a combination of teaching and technology. So I have coined this word Teachnology, and I'm going to talk about Teachnology in the context of this new normal. So when we talk about using technology, we technology that make level our students, and when we use technology, we really have to ensure that we use it judiciously. We should not use technology for the sake of using technology. It must be used judiciously depending on the content. Now, when we talk about how technology has transformed the way we live, the way we think, and the way we teach, education is no exception, because the words that you see on the screen, once upon a time, when window was just a small square hole in a house, when application was something written on a piece of paper, when keyboard was the piano, when mouse was just an animal, when file was an important official document, when hard drive was a very hectic long car drive, when cut was done with a knife and paste with glue, when web was just a spider's house, when virus was a serious problem making diseases. Apple and Blackberry were only fruits. Today, things have changed because of the influence of technology, and we really need to think about this very seriously, because as language teachers, we should notice such changes that happen because of the influence of technology. What we used to do traditionally, classroom based teaching, now, suddenly, with this new normal, our classes have moved from four walls to the virtual platform, and we really need to be prepared for this sudden change. And with this pandemic situation and the new normal, now it is no longer a question whether technology should be used or should not be used. So, what was some days before, just some months ago, we would never imagine that we would meet each other like this with a very new normal. But today, everything is happening because of this sudden paradigm shift in the field of education. Now, when we talk about technology, technology can be used very effectively, but technology, remember, is a double-edged sword. It can help us, but it can also harm us. For example, if this is technology, one side is very sharp and the other one is very soft. So as a teacher, I must have a balance of this. So if I have any hook like this, I should be able to balance technology like this. So if I am not able to balance, then there might be a problem, and therefore we should use technology very effectively. Now, almost in all institutions, colleges and schools, many investments have been made. People have invested money in the use of technology. That is not the problem. But the problem is there hasn't been any established or testable model which teachers can follow. So there is much scope for all the teachers to come together and relook at all the curriculum and syllabi that we impart, and relook at it from the point of view of using it with technology or teaching with technology. And therefore that is very essential. We can relook at everything and redesign everything to meet the requirements of virtual platforms. Now, when we use technology, we should think about what is the attitude of our students and what is our attitude of using technology. Now, when we talk about students, the main role is by the parents. Now, what happens, if you can see my video, parents invest money. Like, I have money with me. So what do parents do? Parents invest money. If this is the field of education, they invest money. And when they invest money, what do they expect? They expect a degree. So when they invest money, what they expect is a degree. So maybe it could be an engineering degree or any other degree. So they expect this, and when they expect, they have invested money, and therefore their approach is to get a good degree and get a good job. Now, when it comes to teachers, we also earn money by teaching, but of course, we have to shape the world and help our students reach greater heights. But when it comes to using technology, what we find is we as teachers are like digital immigrants. When we were born, there was no technology, but now we have to use technology, and our learners are digital natives. They are born with technology, so they are very fast, they are very quick, they are always connected, they are always available online, and therefore there are many gaps. Another thing, like in India, an engineer called Sugat Mitra performed this experiment. What he did was he went to a small village and he installed a computer in the wall, and that project was called Hole in the Wall. And all the children from that village who were not going to school, who were not literate, they came there and they started operating the computers, and one after another they also started teaching other friends. They learned everything on their own, and this project became very famous, the Hole in the Wall. And that really helped learners learn so many things on their own. They didn't need any help of a teacher. So what we understand is our learners are independent as far as using technology is concerned, but we really need to give them good content, and that role is very important. So in this new normal, everything is just a click away. Teacher is no longer the only source of information, right? Technology is there, and therefore all these changes which have been taking place in the light of the present situation, we really need to think about this. Look at this, for example, the student is asking the teacher to check his homework on the website. Another parent is asking, how was your school today? And the girl says, Dad, you can read about it on my blog. I write blogs every day. Another mother is convincing the child that it was not downloaded, but it was born. So this is how children think. You should not be surprised if people use such kind of language in the future. Instead of saying help, help, if someone says F1, F1, we should not be taken aback. Now, this is how we used to deal with mistakes. We used to use an eraser to correct our mistakes. Then we used to have whitener. And 2012 onwards, once computer came into picture, it is just a matter of two shortcut keys on the keyboard, that is Control and Z. So this is how we deal with mistakes. So with the changing time, with the influence of technology, things also change. Now we know the story of a thirsty crow, that the crow was very thirsty and it went from one place to another in search of water. It took so much time to finally land up at a place where there was a small jar or pot of water. But the problem was the level of the water was very low. So it had to get pebbles and put them into the jar one after another. And only then the level of the water could slowly increase. And then it could drink water. Now, this is what we call hard work. Today, as teachers, we are not supposed to do only hard work, but smart work. So as you can see on the screen, the modern crow, the smart crow, doesn't spend time putting pebbles. It simply drinks water using a straw, which is more hygienic and more time saving strategy. This is what is expected even by us from teachers, that we should be smart when we use technology. Now, technology has become one of the basic human needs, along with home, shelter, food. Even the access to the internet has become one of the essential needs. This is how our learners have started communicating with each other informally. They use a lot of acronyms like LOL, right? BRB. Now, we as teachers should also know what do they mean. Like LOL means laughing out loud, BRB means be right back, and so on. So this is how children use language, and not only words, even they use emoticons that you see on the screen. So we should also be able to understand what do they mean. Only then we will be able to understand the language that they speak, and then we can connect with them more effectively. So this is what these emoticons also mean, wink, annoyed, and so on. So with this background, now imagine that every school after this new normal, will be a place where students will take responsibility of their learning, where students will be engaged in higher order thinking skills that we talk about from Bloom's taxonomy, where students will be working with each other collaboratively, and there will be things that they will solve or do which they have never done before. The institution where there will be no fixed timetable or schedule, where classrooms will utilize the space in the most meaningful way, and where the teacher will not be the only source of knowledge or attraction or attention. He will not be only the sage on the stage, but our role will become like a facilitator, where blended learning and flipped classroom methods would be used. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to the use of technology. So welcome to the future, which is the new normal. Now, with the help of advancement in technology, what we have to explore is CALL call, that is computer assisted language learning. And today our learners use mobile phones. So we have to explore MAL also, that is mobile assisted language learning. Now, when we talk about call and MAL and the field of ELT, English language teaching, we have explored all these audio visual aids, right from whiteboard, blackboard to audio cassettes, audio players, then came computers, and today we have digital language laboratories. But they should not be always under lock and key. We should always utilize them, we should use them, because if the last 25 years we could see this change, now we must prepare ourselves as teachers for the next 25 years, which we don't know what it might bring. Now, when we talk about language and technology, language has always changed as technology changed or advanced. Like when there was printing, invention of printing, language changed, especially written language. When telephone came into existence, many new phrases were introduced which people started using on telephonic communication. When broadcasting like television came into picture, again language changed, people started using language differently. And with the help of computer and internet, today again we see language is used differently. So language will keep on changing, but we as learners should also change and meet the requirements. For example, with this new normal, this pandemic of COVID, we can see that so many words have been added to the English vocabulary. So all these words that you see on the screen, we never used them just some months ago, but today these all words have become very common. WFH, work from home, Zoom bombing, photo bombing, and so on. The list goes on. So as a language teacher, I should look at such things happening around me, and I should always give conditions for my learners to learn and ensure that we focus on Bloom's digital taxonomy and not only Bloom's basic taxonomy or modified taxonomy, because with the help of technology it has been changed. Now, when it comes to learning or teaching, please remember, learning cannot take place completely at every stage when it is a face-to-face teaching. But when it is online, when it is accompanied by online teaching, their students can have an opportunity to reinforce, practice, they can revisit, they can watch the videos again, and they can have all these things possible virtually. But remember, technology cannot replace teachers. The role of teachers is going to be very important. It is going to change, like we will become facilitator, we will only become mentors, but we cannot be replaced. The role of teachers is going to be very important. But teachers who don't use technology might be replaced by teachers who use technology. And therefore, we should invest ourselves in learning about technology today if we want to meet the requirements of tomorrow. So invest today for a better future tomorrow and adapt to these new normal changes that are taking place. Because today the whole world has become the classroom. Yeah, earlier it was only within four walls. Now today your students are online and their parents are also online. So you are not only teaching students, you are teaching parents. Anybody can watch your videos. You are available all over the world, and therefore you have to really ensure that you use it very effectively. You have to also ensure that you learn to meet the requirements of students belonging to different learning styles. Some students are reading and writing oriented approaches, they have these approaches. Some students are visual learners, some are kinesthetic learners. But fortunately, technology can help us incorporate all these things, and that is possible with the help of technological platforms. We should also focus on 21st century skills like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, literacy skills, and so on, so that students become producers of information instead of only receivers of information. Now, there is a very famous approach called TPAC, that is technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. So, as language teachers, we should focus on this. Now, traditionally, the teacher, as I said, was the sage on the stage. So teacher only had good content, and with good content one could become a very famous or a good teacher. But along with content, that is CK, content knowledge, the teacher then started thinking about pedagogical knowledge, how I can teach. Can I conduct group discussion? Can I conduct an interview? Can I have a pair work? So that is pedagogy, different methodologies. So content knowledge, CK, is important. Then you need to have PK, that is pedagogical knowledge. But today we also need technological knowledge, and we should have a combination of all the three. Only content is not going to help you, only pedagogical knowledge is not going to help you. You should also have technological knowledge, how to use technology. So a combination of these three is what we call TPAC, technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. And that should depend on the bigger circle that you see, that is context. Depending on the context, we should decide. For example, if there is any problem like this, have a look at the picture. There is a person who is holding a piece of wood in his hand. Now, if the question is what will happen if the person lets the wood go off his hand, if he leaves, what will happen? Now, the obvious answer that we would give is it will fall down. The piece of wood will fall down. But here we need to think about context. Depending on the context, that is the situation where the person is. If the person is standing on the earth, it will fall down. If the person is holding the piece of wood under water, then the piece of wood will go up. It will float on the surface of the water. And if the person is in the space, the wood will be in the air only. So the answer depends on where the person is. That is the context. Similarly, when we use technology, we have to think about the context. Now, what is the mistake that we make as teachers? We first think about technology. Like I decide that I'm going to use Padlet, I'm going to use PowerPoint. Then I think about pedagogy. Can I have a discussion? Can I collaborate? And then I think about content, which should be the other way. We should first think about content, what topic I'm going to teach, then what pedagogical methods I'm going to use, and then what technological tools I can support. Technology should come in the end. We go it the other way, and that is the mistake that we make. So in a nutshell, what we understand is technology can help us with all these things. It can help us to give exposure to English to our learners. It can give ample opportunities. Repetition, reinforcement is possible with the help of technology, and the quietest student can also get voice. So technology resources are very important, but teachers should also be prepared for that. So technology can never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of good teachers can do things miraculously, because technology is very flexible. As you can see on the screen in the video, this is a rope. Technology is very flexible like this, but sometimes it can also become rigid like this. So it can also become like a stick, right? And that is what you need to understand. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I thank all the organizers. These are my contact details, and I also run a YouTube channel called Dr. Atul Patil. So thank you very much once again. I would specially like to thank Dr. Muthamaina, Professor Andy, and the most energetic compeer of today's program, Professor Luluth, and all the organizers. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you. Over to
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Patil. Far away from India, okay? So thank you for joining us here in our first virtual international conference. Uh, we all agree that technology is fast-changing development of technology can change the way a teacher teach and the way students learn somehow. It's very inspiring. You also give a very interesting visual to understand teach knowledge, okay, combining the teaching and technology in the new normal era. Okay, so everybody, you can I hope that you can contact Dr. Patil in person if you have further questions about the topic today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Patil. Okay, now we are ready for our next presenters. Okay, we call Dr. Ali Al-Matari. Are you here? Already here?
Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I think it is time for you to start your presentation. Are you ready for that? Okay. Dr. Atul, you should stop the share screen, please. Hello, Dr. Atul Patil, would you please stop the share screen? Maybe host can help Dr. Atul to stop the share and ready for, okay. Thank you, the host. Now it's time for Dr. Ali Al-Matari. It's floor is yours.
Dia masih unmute itu.
Dr. Ali is still, you have to unmute.
The microphone, the microphone.
Now clear?
Okay, Mas.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to be participate in this conference. And thank you so much for the organizer and Dr. Mutmainna for contract with me and for the moderator of this panel, Dr. Lolo. So my presentation will be divided into sections. First section, I give you a brief about Microsoft Education Community. What is the course that's provided and the teacher used for professional development, especially in this case and this situation. So in this situation, we need to look for teacher development, and this is my focus study, or this is also my work. And our study also is focusing in massive open source online course. And there's a lot of websites provide courses for free, and some of them is a massive. It's mean include one course, but many parts there, and you should success in all parts to get the certificate or pass the exam to be pass the massive course. So my name is Al Matri. I am head of education technology department at Sharqi North Education in Sultanate of Oman. I hold PhD in psychology last 2019. I am top finalist in Global Teacher Prize for 2017. Also, I am winner of Khalifa Award for Excellence in the category of Creative Teachers in 2016-17, and second place in Faisal bin Qasim Al Thani Prize in Education Research. Also in this year, I have a new achievement. I get my expert in Microsoft. Also, I'm researcher in psychology, education, administration, curriculum, teaching methods, and integration of technology with education. I am into teacher, teaching program trainer, member of many societies. I have published more than 30 scientific paper published. You can contact me by clicking this QR. Now I'm going to present some course that's provided in Microsoft Education Community. This website includes many courses that a teacher can develop himself in many subjects related to study, related to his careers, related to his works, related to how to use technology in the class, how to use technology in SDG, also in hybrid learning. And this is now it's not not a new, but now in these cases we are learning in Sultanate of Oman. They are looking for hybrid learning and distance learning. So we need to focus in these points, especially in our teachers. Let me provide some course. In Microsoft Education Community, you can award a lot of certificates, and by passing some exams, you can take a course. For example, hybrid learning. This is one part of course. It's already taken, but you can take some introduction about this kind of course, because we faced some problem, especially in the concept. What is hybrid learning for the teachers? And we make some poster. We use Twitter, Instagram. We use interactive video to describe the hybrid learning for our teacher, because in 1st of November we are starting the students back school. We hope that inshallah, and the corona inshallah will go. We hope that inshallah. So teacher can take a look for hybrid learning. After that, and he can then exam. The exam, he can get 80 to pass, and he can retake the exam again if he don't pass. So in the end of this course, he can get a certificate. Also, there's a learning path. Learning path, there's one big course include many courses. This is hybrid learning, and divide for 4 parts. Hybrid learning, a new model for the future of learning. Hybrid learning in primary classroom, hybrid learning in intermediate classroom, or hybrid learning for high education. So you can go and access. Now I return back to my study, or our study. We are looking in professional development for teachers in Microsoft Education Community during COVID-19 pandemic. We know in March, in February, a lot of university organization and the world provide some webinars, and some of teachers, they don't have time to eat. They all spend maybe one day in the front of the computer to learn something new. What is happening in the world? Why the teacher taking care about developing themselves for what? Why this is professional development come in this time? Why they are not take care about professional development before? This is our new situation. We cannot live without develop ourselves. So our study title, using massive open course in Microsoft Education Community platform for professional development in teacher in Oman, teacher during COVID-19. Our study problem, I hope it's clear now. Our study problem, the spotlight high quality education for all reports mentioned the COVID-19 crisis with 2020 examples of problems we want to solve from. Teachers scramble to access digital content without much support and training. Also a framework report to guide to the education response to the emerging COVID-19 pandemic 2020 mentioned. Reference list for the education response to the pandemic, including a design mechanism for the immediate professional development of teachers and parents so that they are able to support learners in the new teaching method. And this is we need, especially in this case, because the parents and teachers should be work together to support a new method of learning. Also, the report started that there are some difficulties in implementation of the education response to the new crisis in Corona, including the inability of teachers or their willingness to adapt the changes required by the situation. This is our problem. So we need development for teachers, especially in this case, and we cannot continue without developing the teachers. Our study sampled 180 teachers, active teacher in Microsoft Learning in March. This is in March 2020. So now the number of teachers they are increased, but this is 180 from 200. Application period, we use a questionnaire and distribute for 4 weeks to get the response. Study objectives, detecting the degree of teachers satisfaction with the use of e-course MOOCs in the Microsoft Education community in developing teacher during the COVID-19. Also responding to the regional and the global trend with the need of demonstrate the importance of professional development for teachers during the Corona pandemic. What is the result? Study result, high teacher satisfaction with the use of e-course MOOCs, the Microsoft Learning Community platform in the professional development of during COVID-19 in all areas of the study question is high. Second question, there are no statistically significant difference at the level of significance less than 0.05 in the degree of teachers satisfaction with the use of e-course on the Microsoft Learning Community platform due to the education qualification variable and variable practical experience. There are statistically significant difference at the level of significance less than 0.05 in the degree of teacher significance with the use of the course of Microsoft Learning Community platform related to the gender variable for male. Study recommendations. Encourage teachers to make widespread use of open source online course MOOCs for Microsoft Education Community teacher professional development in the Sultanate of Oman. Need to pay attention to the distance training of teacher in the use of widespread of open source e-course MOOCs for the Microsoft Education Community in development their various professional competence. This is all, and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for Alimatari. It's very inspiring presentation actually. Okay.
The last I will, okay. I want to thanks the organizer of the conference again, and Dr.
Okay.
Mutmainna for contract with me, and so much for this great
Okay.
conference.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Maybe you can give us a more understanding about the use of mocks here. Do you think that mocks can be used at any level of education?
This is the focus in teachers.
Yeah, I mean,
Massive open course.
okay. Yeah. What I mean is whether the teacher in all level of education can use mocks.
Yes, yes, they can use. They can use to develop their skills in different subjects. So it's
Okay.
open and it's independent by the teacher what he want to learn.
Okay, okay, thank you. Thank you. Again, this is very inspiring presentation and can give new insight for all of the respondents here. Thank you again, Pak Almatari.
Thank you
Stay
so much.
safe.
And also you
Yes.
can download the study. It's already published by
Okay.
scan the QR. Okay.
Okay, I've already scanned the QR actually. Okay, thank you very much.
Also, I will send it in WhatsApp. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you again. Okay, that's Mr. Ali Almatari. And now we move to next presenter. Okay, Ibu Dr. Mutmainah, are you ready?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, okay. Ibu Dr. Mutmainah, floor is yours.
Okay, let me share my screen. You can see?
Okay, it's already clear.
This is clear?
Yes, okay.
Okay, wait. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon from Indonesia. I want to say thank you very much to director and the dean and all of the committee or organizing this conference, international conference webinar. Thank you to all of the keynote speakers from day one till now. I'm very happy to be here with you, and thanks to having me today in this your great event. So this is my name is Mutmainah, and this is my identity. I am a lecturer in the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education at Al-Azhar Yang Manda University, West Sulawesi. And this is my research identity and my organization. So I will share to you about my topic today, the pedagogical strategies amid COVID-19 pandemic. Well, let me say the issue right now in Indonesia. This is related to the Indonesia condition today. Why this is about the effect on education during the pandemic, this is not being discussed, not enough being discussed. This is the Ministry of Education and Culture state in last week. This is on September, 14 September. Why he said like that? And the next, when learning is really remote in Indonesia condition, there are many challenges today that we have see here. The big problem, this is about the internet connection. As you know that Indonesia, this is one of the big country, and Indonesia one of the developing country in Asia. And in fact, most of Indonesia area, 50% the student or the area of in Indonesia, we are in the rural area. I mean, here in the rural area, there is no internet connection. And then most of our students, they are live in the village. And the next about the information here, this is not about the competence. Most of the teacher actually here, they are very low about the subject and then the pedagogical knowledge. As you know that in education, not only about how to transfer knowledge, but you must have your pedagogical philosophy. Not only about that, in the next here report from the Jakarta Post state that we see here we need to be develop the curriculum based on the student need. And another issue here about our Ministry of Education and Culture and the Ministry of Religious and Affairs, our leading sector, they are need to be applied independent learner or Merdeka Belajar when we are in the distant learning. This is the fact that I want to tell to you and share to you. And actually, using technology or integrated technology in our learning and teaching process, actually this is make our learning and teaching more practical, flexible, and efficient. But until today, we are not achieve about we are not feel that this is good or more easy to learn by using technology. This is the problem. So based on the data and the phenomena, I cover the problem or the challenge actually is highlighted through COVID-19. And not maybe this is not only in Indonesia condition, but this is a global condition. The first one, because this is our productivity right now, we must be adapt with the new culture. We are get shock culture during the COVID-19 when we are practicing namely physical distancing and social distancing, and we must learning from home or distance learning, and need to be how to redesign our curriculum and injected technology, and so will be use technology or integrated technology, some of application or tools. Dr. Abdul Patil have explained more about some of the tools in learning and teaching process. And secondly, about our education disruption. We are now our education transformation when we are lose our physical classroom. We are now transformation our classroom into the virtual classroom, and then we are practicing namely remote teaching, and then virtual classroom and distance education. Virtual classroom, how to support virtual classroom. We are as educator or teacher need to be becoming a digital teacher, and our student we must to train how to becoming a digital student or digital learner. And the third one, this is about the device, the mobile body. Most of Indonesia students, they don't have a mobile device or smartphone or laptop to apply a namely remote teaching or distance learning. And then need to be how to mobile our student in learning and teaching process. We are in the digital right now. We are in the digital global and must be autonomy in learning. And then when we are in education area, we are practice or combine between technology and the pedagogy. One of the theory that supporting this, namely cyberpedagogy from Wang Engkang. And right now we are in the disruption era. We are in the digital era right now. So need to be the vaccine ourselves, improve ourselves, and we must be we must know right now the condition about the society 5.0. All of and everything our daily activity, not only about in learning and teaching or in education, everything delivering by using the internet. And industry revolution 4.0, this is in learning and teaching need to be how to improve our student a 21st century skill, and the pedagogy evolution need to support our student and the teacher to use namely a student-centered learning approach in learning and teaching process. So based on all of the phenomena, so I choose, there are three highlight menu today we are going to discuss about the strategies for digital learning, the media entertainment and information in education, and the last one about the interactional design. Let's have a look one by one, the strategies for digital learning. This is the data, the preliminary research. I found some of the data here. Most of the students, they are actually don't like how to, most of them, they are not enjoy learning and teaching during online or synchronous strategy. And they are very stressed. And most of them, they cannot join the learning and teach the learning and teaching process or in the classroom. Why this happening? Because the viral outbreak effect not only cover only in education, but all of our activity. This is cover an effect with our emotion and psychology. We are stress, anxiety, and possible we are in the post-stressing. And in education right now, we must how to support our teacher right now, sharing and giving motivation how to teach and how to use the technology in learning and teaching process. And we must be adapt with the information, communication, and technology culture. And the last about our social interaction, we must not only in education but all of our social interaction, we must be a transformation into the social virtual. Namely, here we use some of the social media to practice our social interaction. To answer why the ministry state about learning online or distant learning in Indonesia, this is not enough being to discuss until now, because we are still in the adaptation state. What is where are right now our position? We have a past about the culture shock, but we right now we are in this phase, adjustment phase, because we are in this September. We are still adaptation with this new habit or new culture. Maybe the next week, the next year will be adapt and grow with this condition. How to use and how to teach by using technology. And not only about that, we must consideration about the intersection between technology and pedagogy, or pedagogy and the technology. This is about the system change. In Indonesia, our leading sector supporting the policy about Merdeka Belajar or independent learning, because right now the system change and all of we are becoming a digital. And then this is relatively engaging for student and teacher, elegant, easy to adapt and use. And this is the technology can be accessed 24 hours, and this is typical in real life problem solving. This is actually the intersection about the technology and the pedagogy. But the big problem in Indonesia, mostly our infrastructure, our information communication technology infrastructure, this is still not supporting to apply namely distant learning. And when we are combine between pedagogy and technology, I tell you before, one of the theory that supporting the use of technology or integrated technology and pedagogy, namely cyberpedagogy, because in this cyberpedagogy cover with three factors: the cognitive, social, and emotion. As you know that in education, in teaching, not only about how to transfer knowledge, but this is about how to acquire the student about the habit, about the value, about the humanity, and you know that the social, our social our social right now, we are practically social distancing, and most of our social communication, we are social interaction and social communication, we are in the virtual. So that's why we must building namely social community with the student. For example, you can use WhatsApp to building up your social, namely a social community in learning and teaching process. And what about the emotion? The emotion need to be how to know the student condition when we are remote learning, and then when we are teaching by using synchronous or asynchronous strategy. The benefit by using WhatsApp, this is WhatsApp have namely emoji, and this is a present about the feeling or emotion or student emotion. And when because right now everything are going to be digital, and in the pedagogy era, this is supporting a namely digital pedagogy. A digital pedagogy, this is how to connection between the Bloom taxonomy. For example, here in the higher thinking skill, analyze, evaluate, and create. This is about the Bloom taxonomy, the activity and the action, and what kind of the tools that you can be used to achieve the Bloom taxonomy. For example, in analyze here, when you want to need your student to analyze, or this is, for example, the action that you can give the interaction for your student, need to compare. And then the activity, maybe you can ask your student to create a first statement, and the application that can be used here, for example, a number or a drop box. Yeah, this is the pedagogy tools, but actually this is not about, we are not talking about the technology of the tool. This is about the pedagogy, how you to design, how you to plan in your lesson plan, your learning scenario, or your activity to achieve learning outcome of the Bloom taxonomy. And this is some of the fundamental digital skill for 21st century teacher. There are some of the application that you can be used to supporting your learning and teaching process. But actually, you can choose the technology tools that familiar between you and your student. For example, in my class, my student familiar by using Google Classroom. So we are apply a Google Classroom in our class, and WhatsApp for the interaction. And this is not only, and this is the transformation of the using technology or application, not only about the application, but we can use social media as a media in our learning and teaching process. And the strategy for online during COVID-19, there are 3 points here about the prepare and practice, implementation, and reflection. What we should do in the prepare and practice, we must analyze our student condition about the device and the bandwidth. What about if our student don't have a smartphone or laptop? As you know that there is nothing can stop education, so we must go in teaching without the technology or the internet. And you must prepare and thinking about the student condition. They are low technology or high technology. They are in the low bandwidth or high bandwidth. When we are teaching by using Zoom right now, for example, like today, this is very high bandwidth, need a quota and rest money. And what about the implementation? In the implementation, actually, we must design our curriculum into the simple and simple interaction with the student, because in the face-to-face learning and teaching process, this is different with the online or when we are in the remote teaching. And you must choose the right tool or the familiar tools with between your student and between you and your student. And what about in the reflection? In the reflection, we must know and aware about this is a need to be engaged our stakeholder, and we need to be how to monitoring the progress and need to be a patient. And this is the dimension when we are using a technology. What about our interaction when you don't have a digital content? You must know about your student need. Dr. Randy have explained about what about the learning need and how to measure or analyze our student need and the student condition right now. This is a need to be how we are designing again. Yeah. And what about the media, entertainment, and information in education? This is namely we have entertainment and education. This is can be applied because entertainment right now we can be used, for example, a movie or games or TGT, namely team game tournament or cooperative learning, because this is motivate and enjoyable and fun. And how to cover this in your classroom? For example, by using a film can you use to improve your student 21st-century skill. This is flexible and this is effective learning, effective listening and delivering oral presentation. They can be collaboration, the critical thinking, and this is improve a student 21st-century skill or the Bloom taxonomy. And some of the application, actually, Dr. Atul have explained more about the application or the social media that you can be used to apply in your classroom. And one of this is the virtual reality. And this is not only about the social media. This you can use artificial intelligence to help your student to practice their language. And what about now interactional design? Why we need to be design our interaction in the classroom? Because most of I found the data. Most of the student report that the teacher use a virtual classroom. They are only how to give only for homework. The student feel this is just only doing homework. They are not fun and they are not motivation. They don't have a motivation. And right now, we must to be the concept of Merdeka Belajar. This is able to treat the curriculum like a new one today. And how to design our interactional. Mr. Andy explained about the research and development. This is about the educational research and development, how to create, namely, educational product. Educational product, namely, here, not only about how to create a textbook, the material, but this is the interaction in the classroom. And one of the methodology supporting how to the methodology, this is namely a model. This is developed by Heinrich and Melinda, and there are 6 steps in the Assure: analyze learner, study objective, select method, media material, utilize a media material in the class, require learner participation. This is for a student-centered learning approach, and the last one, evaluation. And this is the procedure when you wanted to design your material, need analysis, and then the methodology by using a source, and the product will be into the ebook, for example, or digital book. This is one of my experience when I developing the material based on the student need. This is my digital product, and this is some of the application that can be help you to design your digital material by using articulate mobile, lecture inspire, or mobile learning Android application. And this is the example how you to developing your learning plan or learning scenario. This is covered with the student-centered learning and the activity by using the and even interactional design, and to achieve namely Bloom taxonomy in one meeting. And this is the matrix that you can use here, and then use the technology tool that supporting how to achieve the Bloom taxonomy. For example, by using namely here constructivism or project-based learning, and this is some of the interactional design by using Gagne until the post-interaction, and then cover with Bloom taxonomy into the create or the higher thinking of skill, and some of the tools that you can be used to supporting to achieve all of this is to achieve namely your student learning outcome. And this is the example I want to share to you when I analyze my student need. This is the data. Most of the students actually right now, they are a digital learner. And one of example I want to share to you how to developing the material and interactional design by using a film, because most of the students choose a film and song in learning and teaching process. And this is probably example that can be used. You can see here. Wait. This is the film. When the student watching the film right now, for example, this is the Bloom taxonomy. You can see here into the higher thinking of skill. I break down only 5 pages in your classroom, and you can achieve namely Bloom taxonomy of the higher of thinking skill. For example, in the warm-up, in this page, you ask your student to understand about volunteer, because this film talking about volunteer. For example, this is need to understanding. And while your student watching the film, we need to remember the film chronology. Why film chronology? Because the last we need today create and retelling about the film. In the presenting, we need the student to create their brainstorming. The brainstorming, this is applied to analyze words related to the volunteer concept about the synonym and the antonym. And this is by using the tools, digital dictionary. And in the practice, you can ask your student to discuss the film mandate based on the film they have watched. And then in the production, this is the production, the student will be create their composition, and they can create a simple movie or project, a video project. This is related again with the project-based learning or constructivism. They can retelling the video they have watched. And the last one, evaluation. You can ask your student to answer the question based on the material. And not only about how to just because in education, not only how to transfer knowledge. In education, we need to be how to improve our how to motivate or increase our student values, humanity, empathy, and emotion. This is one of the film, for example, that we can be used to improve. For example, your student tenses, because I'm teaching English subject. This is the procedure until you can achieve a namely Bloom taxonomy. In the warm-up, they watching the film and understanding about the present perfect, and we need to be remember about the present perfect. In the presenting, they can brainstorming the words related to the film, how analyze about the because the film talking about the superhero. And the practice, you can ask your student to discuss. Discuss again and again about discussion. This is a collaboration. And in the production, the student will write composition and evaluation. And this is my student class before COVID-19. This is apply with my digital material. when they are watching the movie and they are use their smartphone and during the COVID-19. What about the student if they don't have device or there is no internet connection? This is one of a strategy that you can be used here. You can see here in Indonesia, we are familiar with this, namely sarung. In West Sulawesi, this is you can namely lipat sabe. They have a motif. This can be used as a media. And this is the second strategy by using TGT, Teens Games Tournament. You know that there is connection or internet connection, and you know that there is nothing can stop education. So for the last my presentation, how to make your learning fun. You can create your material based on your student need or your student condition. You can improve your student interaction and the output. Your student will be engaged, and this is to achieve your learning outcome, or namely the higher of thinking skill. And the pedagogy is the driver, technology is the accelerator. This is not only about the technology, but your pedagogy philosophy. Technology can be used to make our learning and teaching more easy, interactive, interesting, enjoyable, and motivate for our students. And this is all I have today. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Dr. Mutmainah. Very inspiring, actually. It's also answer my curiosity on how to engage, how to keep the students' engagement in online classroom. Somehow we need a lot of creativity so that they can still keep in touch with us as a teacher, and somehow it is difficult. In certain time, I don't have any idea on how to keep them engaged in the classroom.
Yeah, I hope you can use this 5 P's that will be achieved the Bloom taxonomy until the in the higher of thinking skill. I think this is easy, but but remember again, this is not about the technology, but this is about the pedagogy, how you plan, how you manage, and how you create your material. Thank you.
Sure, Ibu
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, maybe there are some questions from the participants here. Any questions you can put on the chat box? Okay. Questions? Maybe? No questions? It's already complete explanation. Ibu Maina.
It's a play.
Yeah. Okay, we still have one. Ibu Latifah Hanim, are you here? Ibu Latifah Hanim. Hello, Ibu Latifah. Can you hear me, Ibu Latifah?
What about from Abu Dhabi? Maybe you can call him.
Okay.
Because Abu Dhabi will have a problem, the internet connection.
Oh, see, yeah, I tried to find the name, but unfortunately, wait a minute, let me check.
Yeah, he in the Zoom right now.
Oh, see, okay. Muhammad, is it right? Ubaidillah, is it right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Ubaidillah?
محمد.
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
محمد عبد الله. السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بداية طبعا أشكر الدكتورة مطمئنة على هذا. السلام عليكم دكتور علي. دكتور علي تسمعني دكتور علي؟ دكتور علي تسمعني؟ إذا في مجال الدكتور علي بس يعني بحيث اللغة العربية تحديدا.
وعليكم السلام.
كيف
وعليكم
حالك
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. دكتور محمد، كيف حالك؟
حبيبي؟ كيفك يا دكتورنا؟ الله يعزك يا رب. هل بإمكان حضرتك؟ الله يعزك يا رب. طبعا يعني تلقيت دعوة من الجامعة المباركة والدكتورة مطمئنة، وطبعا يمكن انا اخبرتها ان انا اتحدث العربية فقط يعني، فهي حكت ما في اي مشكلة يعني، حتى العرض راح يكون بالعربي. فسبحان الله يعني انقذني الله بوجود حضرتك. فبامكان حضرتك بس الله يسترك، بامكان حضرتك توصلهم الرسالة هذه، بس يعني ان انا هتكلم باللغة العربية
إن شاء الله. Miss Lulat, Mr. Mohammed, he will present in Arabic.
Yeah. Maybe we need your help to give a summary in English after his presentation.
My English not good so well, but I will try.
Okay.
يا دكتورنا.
تفضل استاذ محمد، تفضل.
هي حكت ايه؟ عفوا يعني، لان انا اخبرتها قبل.
ما في عادي دكتور، عادي، تفضل.
خلاص، على خيرة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. بداية طبعا أقدم شكري وترحيبي لهذه الجامعة المباركة، وأشكر الدكتور مطمئن على الدعوة الطيبة. ما ترددت طبعا في قبول هذه الدعوة، ولأول مرة يعني مثلا أتكلم بمؤتمر، وما كان لشخص متواضع مثلي يعني أن يتكلم بين ثلة من العلماء والدكاترة الأجلاء، ولكن لي الشرف أن أكون متواجد معكم بإذن الله. معكم محمد عوض الله عبد الحميد محمد، حاصل على ماجستير أصول الدين والدعوة بجامعة الأزهر الشريف. العرض شغال يا دكتور علي صح؟ العرض ظاهر عن حضرتك؟ البرزنتيشن واضح؟ تمام. حصل على ليسانس أصول الدين والدعوة قسم الحديث الشريف وعلومه بتقدير جيد جدا. حصل على دبلومة ماجستير أصول الدين قسم الحديث الشريف وعلومه كلية الدراسات الإسلامية. كذلك حصل على ماجستير في أصول الدين شعبة عامة في الجامعة الإسلامية. من فضل الله حصل على عالية القراءات من الأزهر الشريف 5 سنوات. حصل على إجازة تجويد القرآن الكريم بالسند المتصل لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. حصل على دراسة الماجستير المهني في التدريب والإرشاد، وأعمل معلما بدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. أنا مصري الجنسية، أعمل منذ 10 سنوات أو ما يزيد بدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. حصلت على المعلم المتميز على مستوى المنطقة الغربية بإمارة أبو ظبي لعامين متتاليين. حصل على المعلم المتميز بمنطقة الظفر كذلك. محكم بمسابقات القرآن الكريم والأصوات الحسنة. بفضل الله عز وجل حصلت على معلم مايكروسوفت لهذا العام. أول سفير لمنصة بنسي بدولة الإمارات. عضو مجتمع لمنصة وكلت. معلم معتمد من بوك كريتور. طبعا أنا أعلم ما شاء الله يعني أن الجمع الكبير من مختلف دول العالم، وخاصة الشعب الأندونيسي العريق الطيب والذي يتميز بالطابع الديني. فوددت بداية في هذا اليوم المبارك يعني أن نستمع إلى بعض الآيات القرآنية الكريمة والتي شاركت بها باحتفالية هنا بدولة الإمارات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم يدعون إلى الخير ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
الله يسترك دكتور علي، اكرمني الله بوجودك يعني، عفوا تنقذني في هذا الموقف يعني تحديدا. طبعا انا استغلت هذه الفرصه، وطبعا الموضوع ما كنت معده، ولكن بدايه باذن الله عز وجل راح اتكلم بجانب الامارات العربيه المتحده واستعدادها لمرحله ما بعد كورونا، واهم المنصات المعتمده عندنا بوزاره التربيه والتعليم بالدوله. تمام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بداية شكلت دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة نموذجا ملهما في قطاع التعليم خلال فترة جائحة كورونا، حيث تمكنت المنظومة التعليمية من التفاعل بكفاءة مع التداعيات التي تمخضت عنها هذه الأزمة الصحية الطارئة، فأثبتت جاهزيتها عبر استمرارية عملية التعليم داخل الدولة من خلال تنفيذ نظام التعليم عن بعد بنسبة 100%. وبالرغم من إغلاق المدارس والمعاهد والجامعات، فإن رؤية دولة الإمارات ونهجها الاستباقي الذي اتخذته جعل عملية التعليم عن بعد بديلا استراتيجيا لمواجهة التغيرات الاستثنائية المترتبة على تفشي الجائحة. ولقد أولت دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة منذ تأسيسها تطوير نظام التعليم اهتماما واسعا، انطلاقا من رؤية المغفور له بإذن الله تعالى الشيخ زايد بن سلطان النهيان، باعتبار أن الإنسان المتعلم هو الثروة الحقيقية للوطن وأساس نهضة الأمم، والذي وضع حجر الأساس لبناء خطط وسياسات عالية المستوى للقطاع التعليمي. وقد واصلت قيادتنا الرشيدة مسيرة الاهتمام المكثف بالتعليم عبر وضع استراتيجيات ومبادرات متنوعة تتماشى مع الرؤى الوطنية، وهو ما أسهم في إحداث نقلات النوعية المتتالية في جهد التعليم. وقد ركزت القيادة الرشيدة على تحقيق تعليم مستدام معزز بالتكنولوجيا يهدف إلى خلق جيل متمكن واع بمتطلبات العصر الحالية، يملك المهارات اللازمة لمواكبة التحديات والتغيرات المتجددة. وفي هذا السياق يجب التأكيد على أمر مهم أو مبدأين أساسيين حكم عملية تطوير مسيرة التعليم في دولة الإمارات، هما ترسيخ مفاهيم التحول الذكي في المنظومة التعليمية وتعزيز دور التكنولوجيا في التعلم من خلال الانتقال من النمط الاعتيادي في التعليم إلى أنماط جديدة أخرى تتماشى مع ما أنتجته الثورة الصناعية الرابعة. هذا الأمر الذي أسهم بشكل كبير في التأسيس لنموذج تعليمي راسخ، ومن ثم التأقلم مع الظروف الاستثنائية التي فرضتها جائحة كورونا، انطلاقا من رؤية القيادة الرشيدة الثاقبة والتي أعدت أجيالا قادرة على تحدي الصعوبات وتجاوزها بكل عزيمة وإصرار. واتساقا مع هذه المرونة التي يتميز بها نظامنا التعليمي بدولة الإمارات، فقد اعتمدت الدولة لهذا العام الدراسي الجديد الذي انطلق قبل أسابيع هذا النموذج التعليم الهجين، والذي يدمج ما بين التعليم المباشر في المدرسة بنسبة 70% والتعليم عن بعد بنسبة 30% للمدارس الحكومية، بينما أتاحت للمدارس الخاصة إمكانية اختيار النموذج المناسب لها ولمجتمعها المدرسي، بحيث يضمن سير العملية التعليمية على النحو الأمثل. ولعل أبرز ما يميز الآلية الجديدة للتعليم في ظل استمرار جائحة كورونا هو إعطاء خيارات متعددة هنا بالدولة لأولياء الأمور، إضافة إلى تنوع الأساليب والنماذج التعليمية ضمن سياسات وإرشادات توجيهية بحسب القدرة الاستيعابية لكل مدرسة، كما قدمت إليهم سيناريوهات مرنة لتوقيت الدوام المدرسي، حيث يتراوح ما بين 5 ساعات و6 ساعات يوميا بما يلائم حاجات الطلبة. وكما حرصت دولة الإمارات العربية على استمرارية التعلم الذكي والخروج من النمط التقليدي وترسيخه عبر التشجيع على استخدام التقنيات الذكية والتي تثري ثقافة الطلبة ومعلوماتهم وتعدهم للدراسات العليا واحتياجات سوق العمل في المستقبل. وقد أقرت الجهات المعنية في دولة الإمارات العربية مجموعة من الإجراءات الاحترازية لوقاية المجتمع المدرسي من احتمالية الإصابة بفيروس كوفيد-19، تتضمن الخضوع للفحص الطبي قبل السماح للطلبة والكوادر التعليمية بالعودة إلى الدوام المباشر في المدرسة. وعلى الرغم من الظروف الاستثنائية التي فرضتها جائحة كوفيد-19 فإن العملية التعليمية في دولة الإمارات بفضل الله تمضي بخطى حثيثة وواثقة نحو استكمال خطط التطوير والتغييرات الشاملة لمسارات التعليم ضمن نسق وطني تشارك فيه مختلف المؤسسات التعليمية بما يتوافق مع النهج الوطني والرؤية التعليمية للقيادة الرشيدة للمضي قدما في تحقيق تعليم متطور ومستدام وتعزيز دور التكنولوجيا والتقنيات الذكية في خدمة العملية التعليمية مما يضمن استخدام أفضل الممارسات التربوية والمناهج التعليمية الحديثة. والآن أنتقل بحضراتكم وهذه فرصة لأعرفكم بسياسة دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة ورؤية وزارة التربية والتعليم في التعليم عن بعد. اعتمدت وزارة التربية والتعليم بالدولة منصات تعليمية معتمدة، وقد ظهرت في الآونة الأخيرة كما تعلمون العديد من المنصات التعليمية المختلفة والتي تشجع على تجاوب الطلاب وتفاعلهم وتشاركهم باستخدام التعلم الذكي. فقد اعتمدت الدولة ما يقارب من 19 منصة تعليمية عن بعد تعتمد على تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي لإتاحة خيارات أمام الطلبة، ومنها على سبيل طبعا يعني الإجمال لا التفصيل تنطلق كل أسبوع دورات التنمية المهنية والتي تعقد من معهد التدريب والتطوير للمعلمين بعنوان الذكاء الاصطناعي، وهذه منصة تكنولوجية تعزز استراتيجية التعلم الذاتي في القطاع التعليمي وسيغير بطبيعة الحال بالتعليم وشكله التقليدي. ومما لا شك فيه بما أنني أعمل معلم بهذه الدولة منذ سنوات عديدة، فقبل جائحة كورونا بسنوات عديدة التعليم بدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة يعني الاستخدام الأكثر هو للتعليم الذكي عبر التكنولوجيا التعليم، وسيساعد على ترسيخ مفهوم التعلم عن بعد كمفهوم تعليمي جديد إلى جانب توظيف البرمجيات التعليمية واستخدامها في المراحل التعليمية المختلفة سواء بالمدارس أو الجامعات، وأن الوسائل التكنولوجية والحلول المتطورة الممزوجة بخاصية الذكاء الاصطناعي يمكن توظيفها لإحداث ثورة على النظم والأساليب التقليدية في التعليم. هذه المنصات إخواني الأكارم تخدم بشكل أكبر وبنسبة ما يقارب من 90% المواد العلمية كالفيزياء والرياضيات واللغة الإنجليزية والكيمياء وغيرها من المواد. أما أنا طبعا كأعمل كمعلم تربية إسلامية بعض المنصات المحددة يعني أستخدمها كمعلم مع طلابي، وأضيف عليها المنصات التي تعلمتها خلال الفترة السابقة. أول هذه المنصات وتحوي العديد من الكنز الثري للمعلم وللطالب منصة مدرسة ومنصة ألف ونهلة وناهل. هذا ما أستخدمه أنا كمعلم تربية إسلامية. ماجرو هيل، إكسفورد، تويج، ماتيفيك، هذه طبعا وبخلاف منصات متعددة تستخدم في المواد العلمية بكثرة. كذلك مايكروسوفت شريك رئيسي في العملية التعليمية بدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. حتى لا أطيل على حضراتكم، ودكتور علي عفوا سامعني؟ دكتور علي
نعم معك.
عفوا العرض واضح ولا في شيء يا دكتور؟ معلش يعني حضرتك اللي يعني بإمكانك تكلمني بالعربي.
واضح العرض واضح.
جزاك الله خير. طبعا انا دخلت المؤتمر يعني كعنوان رئيسي ما بعرف، ولكن استغلت هذه الفرصة واستسمح سعادتك يعني تنقل هذه الصورة، يعني اعبر عن حبي وامتناني بما اني طبعا يعني مصري مقيم بالامارات، اعبر عن ولو شيء بسيط مما تقدمه الدولة تجاه المقيمين وتجاه ابناء البلد. الان انتقل يعني بدقائق معدودات للمنصة الرئيسة التي اعتمد عليها كمعلم داخل الحصص الدرسية في التعلم عن بعد وقبل التعلم عن بعد، قبل الجائحة وبعد الجائحة. وطبعا هي عملية ميسرة للمعلم وللطالب، وهي منصة معتمدة ضمن برنامج الشيخ محمد بن راشد المكتوم للتعليم الذكي. هذه المنصة يطلق عليها منصة LMS. هذه المنصة تحوي العديد من المنصات الجميلة والتي تجعل الحصة الدرسية أكثر تفاعلية وإنجاز وتحقيق مخرجات تعليمية طيبة للطالب. يعني أنتقي بعض المنصات سريعا كمنصة كونتست. هذه المنصة لها أشباهها بمنصات تعليمية كثيرة تعرضت لها خلال الفترة الماضية. هي نظام مسابقات. هذه المنصة تجعل من الاختبارات المملة ألعابا ممتعة وشيقة للطلاب تستطيع تعيين الأنشطة لهم بسهولة ومتابعة مدى تقدمهم لتعزيز مستواهم وتحقيق أفضل النتائج وتقديم الدعم الفوري لمن يحتاج للمساعدة. أعود سريعا وأختار مثلا مدرسة. هذا الديوان، هذه منصة يطلق عليها منصة الديوان. تشمل كافة معلمين وزارة التربية والتعليم سواء مدارس حكومية أو مدارس خاصة. هو الحل الأمثل والأسرع في ظل الجائحة، وطبعا يعني عدم وجود الكتب الورقية، لاستخدام المعلم والطالب كذلك لهذه المنصة في الحصول على النسخة لكتاب الطالب وكذلك لدليل المعلم. وبما أنني أعمل مدرس تربية إسلامية فبإمكاني أن أبحث هكذا عن التربية الإسلامية وأستخرج المادات الدراسية بكل سهولة ويسر. أعود سريعا للمنصة وأنتقي كذلك منصة مدرسة تحديدا. هذه المنصة ثرية وغنية جدا بفيديوهات تعليمية لكافة المواد. بصراحة الدولة ما قصرت، ولذلك يعني في ظل التعلم الهجين الرشيق اللي احنا نعيشه الآن، يعني بنسبة 30% داخل المدارس، وفي البعض يعني عدنا كما كان للتعلم عن بعد بنسبة 100% في بعض الأماكن، وإن شاء الله قريبا نعود إلى المدارس. الدولة لن ترتضي لأي معلم أن يعود إلى النمط التقليدي مرة أخرى. هذه منصة مدرسة تحوي العديد والعديد. أوكي أوكي دكتور علي، معلش يعني ساعدنا الله يسترك. دكتور علي.
نعم أسمعك.
عفوا يعني
Miss Lulit, how many minutes you have? The balance time for him for his presentation.
Mem Lulu, sisa berapa menit waktunya?
Yeah, how long you need to present this? Because unfortunately one of the presenters cannot join us today, so we still have time actually.
इसका वो switch खराब हो गया कुछ हो सकता है ये देखो ये
فمحمد
يا دكتور علي،
كم الوقت اللي تحتاجه حتى تنتهي من العرض؟
لا انا يعني انا الفكره كلها يعني ان انا بس يعني اقدم شكري، يعني انا يعني سعيد جدا بالمشاركه ولو بجزء بسيط جدا. انا اكتفيت صراحه. هي الفكره كلها ان ابرز دور دوله الامارات العربيه المتحده والمنصات التعليميه التي تستخدم في التعليم عن بعد والمقرره من الوزاره فقط، ثم رساله شكر للقائمين على المؤتمر ولكل المشاركين. يعني ما حبيت ان انا اتراجع عن الامر، يعني الدكتوره اخبرتني تحدث بالعربيه عادي، لكن انا اكتفيت الان لان انا عارف ان انا يعني اغرد خارج السرب خاصه اللغه الانجليزيه.
172
دكتور مطمئنة
5 berapa nih?
Yeah. Okay, maybe Dr. Ali, you can give me the conclusion about Mr. Mohammed.
Okay, inshallah. I will try.
Yeah,
I will try. My English not good well, but I will try. أيوة أستاذ محمد، الحين أنا بعطيهم نبذة عن اللي قدمت يعني بشكل بسيط.
تمام بارك الله فيك، كل الشكر. هي الفكرة كلها دكتورة مطمئنة أخبرتني يعني شارك بالعربية عادي، يعني هي اللي أصرت عليا وأنا سعيد بالمشاركة فقط لا أكثر ولا أقل. بارك الله فيك. شكرا دكتور.
طبعا Mr. Muhammad, he will great thank for the organizer of the conference for inviting him to be participate, and he will have special thanks for Dr. Mutma'inna. In his presentation, he tried to explore what is the government of United Arab Emirates try to do in pandemic situation. They will try to make the education one of a strategic plan, and they try to involve the smart education. And they have different kinds of education. One hybrid education or blended learning. 70% they will be school, and distance learning 30%. And they hope, as he said, they will turn back to the school for 100%. And we make dua for Allah to take corona away, inshallah ta'ala. Also, Ministry of Education chose 19 platforms to allow teachers for present their lessons and communicate with the community, students, parents, participants, or educators at all. And he show one, as you see, a Diwan madrasa contest, and they have lots of platforms that you can present or use in pandemic situation. And in the last, he also make again and thanks about the organizer of conference, and me also. Thank you so much. I hope it's clear.
Yeah, I guess it's already clear. Thank you anyway for translating things.
شكرا دكتور علي.
العفو.
يعني بارك الله فيك، الله يسعدك يا رب.
العفو.
جزاك الله كل خير.
Okay, so Mohammed, do you have any concluding remark for your presentation?
استعين بالدكتور علي عفوا.
طفي العرض. اغلق
أطفي العرض.
المشاركة.
حاضر.
اغلق المشاركة.
حاضر يا دكتور.
تحصل فوق هنا مكتوب ستوب شيرنج.
تمام.
فوق الشاشة.
خلينا اطلع تماما. بسم الله.
ما تطلع، سوي ستوب شيرنج هناك فوق.
لا. طب خلينا اطلع تماما، يعني بحيث ان اعطي المجال واعود مره ثانيه، ما في مشكله.
طيب.
ولا ابشر، جزاك الله خير، جزاك الله خير.
العفو. everything back. Sure. Dr. Lulut, you can now take your speak.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ali Al-Matari, for helping me with this. Okay, so I guess that's all the topic today, presented today for our panel session 2 for the last day of the Virtual International Conference today. And I hope that you can also join with this closing ceremony in a plenary session here at 15 o'clock Jakarta time. Thank you very much for all the invited speakers for your presentation today. I hope you are healthy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay safe there. Okay. Ibu Mutmainah, thank you.
Yeah. Sama-sama.
Thank you, Dr. Mutmainah. Thank you, Dr. Mutmainah. Thank you, Dr. Ali. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. وسامحونا دكتور علي، سامحونا، لكن سعيد بالمشاركة. بارك الله فيكم.
Okay, we are going to take a picture first, please. We need to take a picture of you, all of you. Would you please? Yes, show your face here. Let me start. Are you ready, everybody?
Okay.
To take a picture?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3 for the first screen. Wait a minute. Okay, Bu Shafa, are you ready for the second screen? Second screen, Bu Shafa, are you ready? Have you done that? Wait. Oh, one more. Okay, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everybody.
See you again.
Okay, see you.
Gimana Bu Lulut? Bu Lulut satu
closing ceremony.
Ya, setelah closing ceremony nanti tim IT dan komite yang lain akan segera share untuk bisa menyaksikan di link YouTube dan sertifikat. Okay, soon I hope. Thank you everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.